The great Jay Giles Band. Last night, we lost another rock god, Jay Giles. Gone. This is the Bennington Show. 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I am Ron Bennington. Yeah, they just keep killing off my heroes one after another. I don't know what's going on with you, Mr. Death, but I'm fucking coming from you, Jack. That's going to be it now. Hey, Teddy, in Boston.
Ronnie, I knew you were going to open up with a Giles song. I've always appreciated you guys, your love for the Jay Giles Band. It was my first rock show as 15-year-old idiot from Boston. The Fools opened up for the Jay Giles Band in the Cape Cod Coliseum, which is now a fucking Christmas tree shop. It was absolutely nuts. They were the greatest party doing ever.
Yeah, every show turned into a dance party. It really did. They were a unbelievable live band, and also one of those bands that taught me about the history of the music, where it come from, where you don't always hear today, but you would always hear the name John Lee Hooker, or somebody from soul. Peter Wolf, to me, greatest frontman of any band, and it was always a party. Yeah, well, Mick Jagger knows the fucking truth. I mean, somebody's got to fucking, somebody's gonna say it. But to see Giles in Boston, that's phenomenal, dude. That's an unbelievable start, and it's all downhill from there. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna blow your face out.
Jay Giles Band.
You always said they were your favorite live show you've ever seen, right? Was Jay Giles?
They're the best live band I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
They were unbelievable rock and roll band, and played constantly for years before they had any hits. I mean, all my stuff that I loved that they did came before they had any radio hits at all.
Right. Pre-Centerfold.
Yeah. I remember my brother said one time, he goes, "Man, I thought they lived around here." He just thought that they were a local bar band because they're
pretty good.
Yeah, they played constantly, every night, and everybody is open for them at one time or another. All the biggest bands in the world that you look at were like, "Oh man, we were on tour with Jay Giles."
But the Eagles used to open for Jay Giles, right?
You name them.
Yeah.
You name who it was. They played on the same bill as Jay Giles. Hey, Gary in Virginia, what's up?
Yeah, Ronnie, first off, I saw Jay Giles at Georgetown University back in 1976. The only time I ever seen people getting carried into it, they were so drunk, coming into the place.
Carried into the party. Yeah.
Yep. And I tell you what, listening to Jay Giles, I've been sober now for 27 years. That makes me want to go to a bar, have a drink, and dance my ass off.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. That was a party soundtrack. The live albums. I don't know if I was ever at a party at my life where the live albums didn't play. They were just a great party band. I don't know what went on between all of them. They've been touring without Jay Giles for the last couple of years. And, but like I said, they must have been out on the road 10, 12 years before they had a fucking radio chart hit. And then when they finally had a number one album, they broke up.
But were they like notoriously a feuding band? Did they have that
I don't.
kind of reputation?
They weren't a band that you really gossiped about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't a band that people sat around and like put up posters and shit. You know what I mean? They were the fucking party band. They were good times. Fucking start of the show, end of the show. You're having a house party. You turn around and someone's dancing on the coffee fucking table, while the smart girl whose fucking house we're rolling is crying and saying you shit on my parents' house or whatever. You know what I mean? They weren't that type of band. The weirdest thing that ever happened is Peter Wolf married Faye Dunaway. No one could fucking see that. No one in Boston understood it. No one in Hollywood understood it. They seemed like they were the exact opposites. and you were just hearing like people would go to a band and a party, and they'd be like, "Is Faye Dunaway here?" I'm like, "No, can't fucking tell you." Jeremy in Tennessee.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Forever ago, saw U2 open for Jay Giles in a little gymnasium, University of Tennessee campus. At the time, had no idea who U2 was. They came out, they opened with Gloria. It was ridiculous, and, like, wow, how can anything follow that? And Jay Giles came out and literally tore the roof off. They were, without a doubt, the best live band that I had ever seen also. Completely blew U2 off the stage.
I will tell you that I saw things fucking happening in Jay Giles shows that look like they were in a movie. Like you would turn around, people would be up in the fucking air. You know what I mean? People were just leaping, fucking going. You know what I mean? It was, and not to be seen. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a stylish thing to do. It was just a fucking pure rock and roll boogie show. And the Jay Giles band has never made the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because it's one of those things of like, where do you put them as an important band? And how do you say pure fucking boogie woogie enthusiasm is important? It's hard just for a critic to sit down and write, well, this is a very important thing to happen. But, it does. Hey, Barry, what's happening?
Ronnie,
Yeah.
Giles, I remember, I know you did the Spectrum. You saw them at the Spectrum.
Sure.
I still have a T-shirt. Remember, we used to buy them. Them guys would be outside. In the
Yeah, they were all
parking lot.
bootleg T-shirts. There was the bands did not run their own T-shirts.
So people would just be like selling T-shirts in the parking lot.
Dude, at my school, we would be in shop making fucking T-shirts. No one, you know what I mean? Like there were just.
The thing with those T-shirts, you could never wear them. If you watch one of those shirts.
Oh yeah, they were gone. They were gone quick. They were made by fucking kids. But it took like to the 80s, and I think Van Halen might have been the band that said, "Look, there's a lot of money in T-shirts.
Right.
We're fucking not letting these guys just sell T-shirts."
I know I saw them a couple of times. There was always at the Spectrum I saw them, and back when, there wasn't seating, you could, you go in before the Who with the Cleveland thing.
Yeah.
You could just go and get on the floor and then just, do your thing. And, oh, my God. And like you said, that band they were just incredible. I mean, just unbelievable.
Yeah, they were just great, man. It was just that fucking thing where the band would and the audience would come together somehow. You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm talking about when there's a magic night. You know what I mean? And a magic night could be a house party. It could be a giant concert. No one knows how it happens, but that whole thing just turns into church. You know what I mean? Everything that you want out of church can happen with a gathering of people who are like, we are going to fucking dance like we were tribal people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get in that thing where you turn around and there's 20,000 people and you love them all. You know what I mean? You're fucking dancing with strangers. You're fucking kissing girls. You're having literally the time of your life. And then the next morning you're at school or at work. Who knows? Who knows what has happened? But you fucking reach out and grab those moments. And that band set out to have that kind of a show every single night. Who knows why some bands decide not to fucking phone it in? You know? Who knows? And like I said, you could never say, oh, something of great importance took place. But there's another place deep down in your soul going, this is why we're alive. This is why you do all the other things. And whoever is listening, I'm sure there's a band or a concert or a bar that you've been to with some fucking guys who are, for some reason in the world, are playing Wild Thing, and you just went, wow, that was fucking crazy. I heard that song a million times, but right now, I never connected to a song like that. That's what happens. Who knows why it happens? And it can happen with drugs or without drugs. The best fucking people don't need the drugs. The other ones, that's the shows that Chris went to 10 years ago. He still talks about. Hey, yeah, but you don't go, Chris. You just say that you go. Robert, New Jersey.
Ronnie, hey. JFK Stadium, Philadelphia. Leonard Skinner, Peter Frampton, Jay Giles, Sea Level, and a bunch of other bands. Was unbelievable.
That was the last time I saw Skinner. That was the last time I saw Leonard Skinner. And that was one of those fucking days in the sun. You know what I mean? Just
it was out of control,
beating down on you. But could you imagine like how crazy Philly people are, and then unleashing 110,000 people to do that all day long? Yeah.
Go into the bathroom and this guy's booting heroin. I was like, I was young. I was like, holy, what's going on here?
Just fucking enjoy yourself, kid. That's what I would say. Just relax. Take a piss. Don't look around at everybody. Look, these people aren't here to hurt you. They're trying to get into their own thing.
It was crazy.
That was that really funny year that, like, the year before, the entire country fucking loved Peter Frampton and bought that live album. And then during this tour, everyone was like, Skinner's gone. Let's fucking leave this shit. I'm not going to watch this.
We couldn't believe that Peter Frampton was the headliner.
Yes, that happened that quickly. You know what I mean? Like, when they did, like, the movie Stars Born, and they had him at those outdoor shows, I think that those were Frampton shows that they used and just went out and shot stuff, because he got that major. And then almost like in the same zeitgeist that made it happen, everyone just went, oh.
Why did we do that?
What is he doing?
He put you on It was like a spell, I guess.
Yes, it was a spell.
Somewhere in those licks.
We were caught up in his curly, beautiful hair. Mark, Jersey. Mark, what's up?
Hey, Benningtons, how you doing?
Good.
I'm too young to have seen the Jay Giles band, but my father has always told me they're the greatest band that's ever lived. And he told me once that when he was in high school, or when his younger sisters were in high school, that the Jay Giles band played their prom. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I always grew up believing it. I don't know if anyone's out there that can.
I guarantee you, if you grew up in the Boston area, they played your frat party, your prom, a fucking bowling alley. I mean, it was a working band.
Yeah,
it was a band that went out and played. Chuck, North Carolina. Chuck, what's happening, buddy?
I'm doing all right, Ronnie. Jay Giles band, that guy dying. You ever had a band you kind of just liked all the time and saw, and that really hits me. But I wanted to take you back. I don't remember years ago. A lot of brain cells gone since then. Little college in Western North Carolina had a gymnasium, maybe 800, 900 people. Leonard Skinner, Atlanta Rhythm Section, Jay Giles band, a pint of Jack Daniels, 5 joints and a half a gram. Best show I ever fucking saw.
That sounds great.
But isn't that always the funniest thing? Is like the best show you've ever saw. You may not.
I remember it like it was yesterday, man.
Yeah.
Girls didn't wear bras in college.
No.
Everybody dancing. It was like a party instead of a concert, man. And I hate to hear that because, like I said, they were one of the best bands live I think I ever saw, and they made it feel like just you were at somebody's backyard and they were just having a good time.
They were pure rock and roll, which is almost the art form has moved into so many different places, but they were a connection to the 60s and the 50s. And
well, like not many bands anymore can say they were in it for the music, and I think they were, because they played all those little shows and everything, and they really acted like they were having a good time. I see you, man. Keep that fucking what's his name straight.
Yeah, I'll keep what's his name fucking straight. I think that's you, Chris. I'm gonna keep you straight.
What's his name?
I'm gonna keep your dumb ass straight.
I see you, man.
See you later, Chuck.
Oh, what's his name? Stanley.
Pile of Jack Daniels and a half a gram. It was all right there. I think no matter who you are, you know what we're talking about with those kind of nights. Like I heard from Flats. Flats is the one who broke the news to me. He's fucking pissed off. Great band, great legacy. And I talked to Peter Wolf. Even after those guys, like I said, they broke up at their peak, And I saw Peter Wolf, and I was talking to him the first time, and he goes like this. I was just walking down the street, and a guy says to me, "Hey, Jay Giles." Fuck. You know what I mean? Because, that used the same thing happened to David Lee Roth. People would go, "Van, how you doing, man?" When you don't name the band after you,
right.
And everyone assumes.
I actually heard someone, I was waiting for the train this morning. There was two guys standing there, and he was like, "Oh, did you hear that the lead singer of Jay Giles' band just passed away?"
I'm going to push that guy in the tracks.
And I decided just to be silent. I didn't want to be like, actually, sir.
I wish you would have. I wish you would have nerd on that fucker. Just nerd, man. The Giles band got together in 1968. They all met each other. Yeah, you give them a little fucking Poindexter, let them fucking deal with it. First I look at the post. Great band. Great fucking band. All right, this is the Bennington Show. We're going to be at Moon Tower next week, as a matter of fact. All the tickets that we had are gone. You could go over to the iBank and look to see if you can get on a standby list, or you can go pick up tickets, passes to all the shows at the Moon Tower. And I'm going to be doing a couple of different podcasts down there with other people, and maybe some stand-up. I don't know. We're all just looking forward to having fun at the Moon Tower.
Yeah, I highly recommend, because it's a great festival and you never know where you're going to pop up. So definitely go check out the Moon Tower badges. Chris, where can you get it?
That's austintheater.org. austintheater.org.
austintheater.org. It's any show that you can see down there. And by the way, all of our buddies are going to be there. The Bonfire is going to be doing a show down there. The Skanks are there. The Sklar Brothers are going to be there. It's going to be great across the board. You're not going to show up to a show and not have a great time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to plug this. Big J's on TV tonight singing, and that should be great. I think that's 10 o'clock on Comedy Central. Is that when that comes on?
Yeah, the Comedy Jam.
Oh, that's awesome.
10 p.m. Comedy Central.
Yeah. So, TiVo that, as they say.
I will. I'm going to set my TiVo to record.
Yes. TiVo, record.
Siri, can you talk to TiVo for me?
I am sorry. I didn't understand what you said there.
Talk to TiVo. Work it out between the two of you and get my show recorded.
I'm sorry. I can't find Pock to Peebo. Do you ever do shit that like the... Siri just is like an asshole with me sometimes. So if you get the one pass, you get into every club show that there is. There's another pass for club and theater shows. It's going to be a blast. And we're doing 2 on Mass, which should be great. And we're doing Comedy 101 there. I believe with our buddies from the Bonfire.
That would be awesome. So get the badges. Go to every show.
Mm. One time Vito went out and did 101 with us, and he killed.
He did. He crushed it.
One of the highlights of my life.
Is that right?
It was really fun.
I thought you were going to stay with stand-up after that.
I don't know what happened.
I know. You had a pretty good first showing.
Yeah, it felt really good to be up there. Like, I loved being up there, but
I don't want to get up there 6-7 times a night. 6-7 times a night. That's how they do it in New York.
It's true.
Just scared of ruining that moment.
I mean, the material needed a little
Can I
work.
tell you
but
something? The material was terrible.
But he had the crowd on his side.
No, the crowd thought that he was tall. And they got a big kick out of that. You got to be able to, you got to get out there night after night after night, honing that material of yours.
I know. I watch Crashing. I know how it is.
Crashing tells a tale. By the way, I saw a still picture of Jay, and he's in a Jim Morrison amount of leather.
Really?
A Jim Morrison amount of leather. And
leather.
The black T-shirt that he's wearing has the Skanks logo on it. How come we don't have a logo? It should look exactly like the Skanks logo. That should be our logo. Like you wouldn't even be able to tell the two apart.
That would be great.
Yeah, until they hit us with a lawsuit.
You think they'd be upset?
The nerve.
Of who?
Well, the Skanks would be upset if we have, we have the same logo.
Maybe instead of like the angry X mouth, it could just be like a little smirk, but everything else is the same. Like, no, ours is different. Look at how happy ours look.
Steve, Tampa.
Yeah, all you need to know about Jay Giles' band is the title of their live record, Blow Your Face Out. And the tune Ain't Nothing But a House Party is what they brought every night. I'm so angry I never got to see them.
We're going to end the show today with Ain't Nothing But a House Party. Ain't nothing but a party. What a great fucking band. All right, so what else has happened today? We're plugging, we're doing things, we're talking about the Moon Tower. Oh, I didn't see that Chris Gethard's career suicide trailer made the scene.
Yep, that's coming. That airs May 6th on HBO.
I saw that show. He was great.
I can't wait to see it.
Well, you like the Smiths, and he's quoting the Smiths quite a bit in it.
Good. We have that in common.
That's his band that kept him alive.
Yes.
He's also in the Smiths cover band as well.
Yes, and he has a Morrissey tattoo.
Yeah. And
I think it's just his name.
A Bennington Skanks tattoo. Oh, speaking of which, I think we're going to do 101 at Skankfest. Let's go get tickets to that. They're running out. That's just a full, you get one pass and you see all the shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
Skankfest. And if I get a chance, I'll do an unmasked there with somebody. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know who they got coming in. They got some crazy people that'll come by. It's going to be great.
They throw quite a fest.
Last year's was great. Last year I did the mashup show with Big J.
Yeah.
And those people were like 10, 11 hours into shows that day.
It was like a gathering of the skanks. It's much like a juggalo type.
Less Fado.
I don't know. I think it's 100% the same. This is a good point. The skanks are the juggalos of the comedy world.
Are they chanting family?
They are almost sold out. They are almost sold out for Skankfest. So go pick up some passes to that. It should be fun.
That's at creeklic.com for Skankfest passes.
You got to love the Creek in the Cave, and I got to tell you, I get nervous because I see what's happening with that neighborhood.
Getting too fancy.
Oh, God, is it fancy.
There's high rises there.
I'm going to be over there Friday working at the standing room for 2 shows. Can't believe that block. Like, that used to be a place that was like, holy shit, how do we get back to, you know what I mean? And now, Chris Stanley, and this is his old neighborhood, doesn't feel classy enough to be on that block.
No, it's that strip is way too nice. There used to be a really grimy strip club there that I would go to sometimes. Mm-hmm. That's gone.
You danced there for 2 years, I believe.
Yeah, I had to get some extra money somehow.
And yet, you didn't get one tip.
I went to see a show at the Creek in the Cave, and then, they were like, oh, if you're hanging out, like, the block, just 1 block away, like, walk down there and, like, grab a drink or something. We walked down, we're like, wine bar, fancy cocktail.
That's exactly where the standing room is.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Like, where's just, like, a cheap bar?
No, doesn't exist.
I guess I'll have a Cosmo then.
Doesn't exist. They over in that area, the bartender looks down on you. And I'm just like, yes.
So can we offer you a jacket so you can stay in our establishment?
It really does feel that way. It feels like the bartender is better than you. The wait staff is better than you. Everyone's better than you. I'm going to have to go out and get some fur pants to wear to the show. So yeah, I forgot I was there because I thought I was at the stand-up weekend, but I'm at the stand tonight. And then Friday, I'm at the standing room in Long Island City, was just this really small, fucking cool, hip room. And then I think Saturday night, I'm back at the stand.
Nice.
Hosting, like a host guy, where you got to really pay attention. I like shows where I'd be like, I do my thing, and I go, I'll see you another hour and a half. Not like, is he getting off now? I just got the light. Why am I standing here? He's not getting off and the light's on. I don't want to worry about things like that.
No, there's too many this is the logistics of it.
No,
all.
I think to myself, a professional should be here, not a person like myself who really doesn't care. I know it's cold outside. I think yesterday Sean Spicer took it when he said during World War II, even Hitler didn't use chemical weapons. And a lot of people were, well, they were freaked out by the statement, not just the lack of sensitivity and knowledge of history, but just the fact of we've all heard about the 6 million people.
Yes.
That he used chemical weapons on.
How did he think that most of those were?
You know who says that is like alt-right white supremacists. There's never been any proof that Hitler...
Deniers.
Yeah. A guy I know that used to be one of the heads of some local KKK thing said, you know those numbers in their arms? Why didn't you ever see like 9 figures? How could they possibly? And I'm like, I'm not going to be in an argument about how many Jews were gassed by Hitler.
Bad for everybody, that argument.
No, it's just it's not an argument you can win. But Spicer came back and apologized. They kind of ruined, I think, his rep.
Because at first he kind of doubled down on it. He kind of repeated the statement. He's like, seriously, though, even Hitler, who you'd think was the worst of the worst. And it's just like, you can kind of feel everyone out there just kind of like rustling in their seats, like, who's going to bring this one up?
He came back and he said, you know, I made a mistake, and the president's trying to displace the government over in Syria. I'm like, wait, what?
But he also, it was great because the woman who like brought it to his attention, all she did was repeat it. She's like, are you really saying that he didn't use chemical weapons? And then he's just like, no, I'm just saying that he didn't. Okay, I see your point there. I get what you're getting at. And like you slowly see his eyes go, I am fucked up.
Oh, shit.
Spicy did bad.
Gonna have a tough time looking at the Kushner family now.
They're already axing people left and right.
I know, man. It don't. And now Donald Trump just acted yesterday like, man, he doesn't really know Bannon that well.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know about him really.
He came in late.
It's just so weird. Why would he say that? Particularly
because he's never the best to his friends. He's not a good friend.
He's not.
Look at all the people who backed him. Look at all the people who were standing on the stage that night and how they're going. Who's seen fucking Rudy Giuliani again?
No.
Chris Christie. Flynn. And he fucking will cut you loose. Everybody but the kids. The kids, he has a loyalty to his kids once they grew up, not when they were babies. But Trump had the best fucking line yesterday about North Korea. He says, we are sending an armada there.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And he was like, you will not believe our subs and stuff. No one has used the word armada probably since the Spanish Armada. You know, Spain was on top of the world. But it's a fucking great phrase, and I'm glad that it's being used again.
Let's bring it back. But what, to your point about, you know, him being worse to his friends than anyone, that's what makes me so nervous about Putin. Because I'm like, if he's friendly with him, then they will have a falling out. If he has any closeness,
watch the fucking news with North Korea. The falling out is here.
Yeah,
the armada is on its fucking way, and this is like a stare down over using nuclear weapons. It's you know, these are edgy fucking times. Edgy times. But maybe the armada will save the day. I really believe that was an armada that came in at Rogue One, where they just like beep, bleep, bleep. Did you guys see it yet?
I didn't. Chris? I didn't see it.
I saw it, yes. I saw it over the weekend.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was just another Star Wars movie. I thought it kind of sucked.
Yeah, I don't know what you say about that. I don't know how you could even sit around and talk about Star Wars. But I did finally get to see it.
If you're just comparing it to Star Wars movies, which obviously are not your favorite.
I will say this.
Was it a passable Star Wars movie?
I will say this. Certain people die, and you don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's always rough.
how involved you are in the movie. And, you know, you're supposed to care that about Darth Vader's house. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
I'll just say this. Congratulations for the money grab, Disney. Because that's what these things are. These are just money grabs. But you know what I saw last night? I finally got to see Hidden Figures.
Did you like it?
I liked the story. Did not like the movie. The movie.
You think it wasn't handled well?
Well, look. There's this genius black girl who, back there they would call people computers because you would have to physically do the work of computers. Yes. So you had to physically do the work of computers. And that work had to be so precise because we were putting fucking garbage cans on top of a missile and a man inside that garbage can. It was blowing up and the man would fly into space and then had to land at the precise place, right? That part of the story is mind-blowing. But this thing of whether, somebody gets married or not, or whether or not... You wouldn't waste a fucking movie. You wouldn't waste a movie about a guy doing that. Yes, you got to prove that he has a wife, so he's not gay. We've known that in every fucking...
It's classic.
Look, by the way, I got a woman waiting for me when I get back. Right, honey?
So he's straight.
So that much. But whether or not, And... like I said, if they would have just focused on the work, it's fucking fascinating. It's unbelievable that these people could sit down and run numbers like this.
Yeah.
But if you go see the truth versus, whatever.
There is a bigger and better story there.
I don't know whether it's one that could even be told. I mean, you have to lie in a movie to make it work. You have to take characters and make it work. You have to show that the Jackie Robinson moments take place. We all know they take place. All you have to do is say it once. You know what I mean? You don't need to go back to that. My God, you know what I mean? That overacting.
What did you think of the 3 lead roles?
I think there should have been one lead role. You know what I mean? I don't think if you were telling a story about a white dude, you would have also said, and there were other white dudes doing stuff. There was one, all these stories would be fine on their own. And I know that there was a lot more people, but you got to tell the story through one person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not worry whether or not they're going to get a fucking date or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, have the dignity.
That's a little insulting.
The fucking story is this, you're looking at a genius story, right? Tell the genius story. We all know the terrible Jackie Robinson stuff that took place. All you have to do is mention it to people. You know what I mean? To go, oh yeah, and then you also have that.
Yeah.
But there is a story in the middle of that thing that is just, how is somebody that fucking smart?
Yeah, it's weird when you think about people who are, and particularly things that are hard for me to fathom, like a genius with math. It's hard to be like, how are we the same species? Because that person is operating on like a different level. I can't even look at how many people are in a crowd until you
know.
Many hundreds. So many hundreds.
So yeah, that's my only problem.
Yeah.
I wish that they would have had the courage to tell this as if it was a good movie and not am I right, girls? You know what I mean? Like, don't fucking treat it the same way that you treat it League of Our Own. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking real important story. And when they got to any of those moments, I was fucking blown away. I was misty about it, There was like a thing where, and apparently this part did happen, but they were running stuff because the new IBM computer, and a computer as big as this room to figure out math problems. You know what I mean? What we would use a calculator for.
Yeah.
And John Glenn's ready to be shut off, and he goes, "Hey, have the girl check the math. Just have her physically check the math that the computer did." That's unbelievable. That's an incredible historical moment. And this guy, his life is being risked. You know what I mean? His life is on the line, and he had met her and thought enough of her. That moment should have been throughout the whole fucking film. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have to dig through, these other fucking scenes to get to it. All right. Lewis disagrees with Chris. Lewis.
That's weird.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah,
Hey.
Rogue One for me, and I know you guys might laugh, but I think it was a masterpiece of a Star Wars movie.
No, we're doing the laughing bit,
absolutely
Chris.
love
He
that
said you
movie.
might laugh.
I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've seen the movies. I didn't like the prequels. I'm not going to get into all the details why I didn't like it, but I just, for me, I like to follow a story. I like it to, I like there to be a 1, 2, 3. I don't like to go backwards and all that shit. And that's what annoyed me about the prequel. So when I heard Rogue One
was a prequel, yeah,
I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. But the way they did it, I mean, not only did they do a good job, but they set you up for the original Star Wars. Like, I think they made the original one more important than it actually was when it first came out.
Because this is all about the plans, right? Like, that's the whole premise.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone, but what they do towards the end of that movie, and it's not, I don't like it just because of the ending, but the way they set it up, you feel the intensity in the original, in those beginning scenes, like it feels more intense.
I will tell you that, first of all, Lewis, that, we never needed that. You know what I mean? It was always about Luke. But two, I'm a little weirded out by bringing back dead people as CGIs.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Oh, that's right. They do that in this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, it started with one, but now there's two.
Yeah, there's two. I think the little girl who, I don't know what her name is, but...
The British girl?
Yeah, she's great. She's a great actor. And they've taken some people, and this is my biggest problem. They're taking young, serious actors and wasting them in these movies and wasting their careers. That's what I would say. I would rather that we didn't have any more Robert Downey Jr.'s, people that were great actors that are now like, hey, I'm making a lot of money doing this fucking thing, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah, it seems like you could just get away with maybe some handsome people.
Yeah, but they don't want that. They want, to show, hey, we've got all the best people. We're the Yankees. I don't know. That's what movies are now. I can't get into it. And someone says, how does this follow your story about Hidden Figures? Well, there's all kinds of different weird things here of how long it takes for people to hear stuff. So never concern yourself with that. Al in Connecticut. Al.
How's it going, Ronnie B?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, first time calling show is awesome. So I was like 16. I live in New Haven, went to New Haven Coliseum, and it was back in the day where you would skip school and sleep out for tickets. So I'd never done that before. Me and my buddy did that, got in the line, and then we were the first ones in line, slept out, and then when they opened up the doors for the Coliseum in the morning, everybody just rushed in, and we lost our place in line. But to make a story short, we ended up getting 2 tickets, front row, and so that was really awesome. So the night of the concert, everybody starts rushing the stage. Jay Giles is awesome, and the live album, as you may have talked about before, was so cool because every song just flowed into the next song, kind of like Pink Floyd kind of stuff. And so everyone's rushing to the stage, and I said to my friend, hey, we got to get up off our front row seats and get right up to the stage, or we're just going to be a billion people in front. He didn't want to, and I did. And awesome, the concert's great, but more and more people started pushing in the front, and I was in the center up against the stage, and it was just more and more packed, and you got to the point where you couldn't breathe anymore. Yeah. And it probably took at least 30 minutes, as hard as I could, just to slide across the stage to get out so that I could breathe. It was so... Yeah,
those things can get pretty frightening when that happens at a show.
And usually that's exactly it. Like, you're there early enough, and you're like, this is great. Like, you're like, I have this nice little square footage for myself. I'm going to be fine. And then when that press, and like depending on the style of music too, sometimes they don't really do it until just like at the moment the music starts.
People have been killed at shows.
And you just feel that pressure of just like human bodies on you, and you're like, okay, I'm going to try not to have a panic attack. This is fun. I want to be here.
You know what's really weird is I've been on stage looking at that kind of stuff and seeing people like, help us.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they'll be like, help, we can't breathe. And I'm like, coming up in 2 weeks, you know, and I'm just like, oh, this is terrible.
Faces pressed up
yeah, and I do that thing like, hey, if everybody could just take a half a step back, let's all try to do it. And you see people are like sincerely panicking while you're doing it. And watching them trying to pull people out. Fucking terrible.
It's really, really scary. And I always have, if I'm at a show, I always have the instinct to want to be close because I'm so short. But most live performances I've seen, I have not actually seen. I've heard, and I looked at the back of some guy's neck, but very rarely am I actually seeing live music. So I do try to be like, oh, you need to be kind of close.
Well, that's not going to always work for you.
It doesn't. And I think also at a certain age, you have to give that up.
No, you got to give it up.
Yeah. Where you're like, I would much rather be somewhere.
I don't care if I don't get a guitar pick.
Yeah, it's not important to get a playlist.
No, you don't. You don't need it.
They post them now.
Yeah.
We were at a show, and it's so funny because we were talking about Robbie Robinson. But there used to be this bar that you could see shows at, like really good people in Philly, called the Bijou Cafe, and you would get tables. I saw a lot of great, like this was like a thing where I was starting to move into like, oh, this is more of an adult situation. And I remember that you had to buy, each person would buy like a little pitcher of a mixed drink, and that was your minimum drinks, but you would get a pitcher, and we're just fucking straight drinking. You know what I mean? You never had to worry about a minimum.
Do you have a big straw?
Yeah. And so we go to see, it was Rick Danko and Levon Helm touring after the band, right? And this would have only been a couple years after The Last Waltz. And it was like the fucking first time in our life. Like, we were standing there waiting to get in, and the guys came walking by us. You know what I mean? It was that small of a venue. It was like being at a comedy club. And so Danko has a set list in front of him, and my friend Fidge would keep leaning over and picking up their set list, and then he was going like this. They're going to do The Shape I'm In next. And he put the set list back down. I could see Danko was like, hey, dude, want to leave the set list alone?
Yeah, stop touching it. We're actually still using
funny
it.
As shit. I saw a lot of great people in that little fucking club. It was funny as shit.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Like a great way to see music.
Well, you know what? Daryl owns a place called Daryl's House now, upstate a little bit, where you can go see a lot of good people like that in a club setting.
That's cool. That's like Catskills kind of area, or
even down before.
Oh, okay.
Vito will give you the exact address.
Good. I'd like to hear the address, please.
Vito, you're looking more like Bluto today. If I'm going to be totally honest, that beard is getting intense.
There's a reflection in here, and I didn't notice how thick it had gotten until I sat down to see.
Yeah,
it's tense.
And the thing is, you can grow a beard and Chris can't, and I need you guys to look more similar.
I know, because Chris is still in his patchy stage.
When we get to, no, he can't out unpatch.
It's just
even when it's long and patchy.
It's a neck beard that I could grow, but anything on the face, that's fucked.
If you need me to, I'll just fill it in with my mascara.
Or do this: just get a comb and comb your neck up to your mouth. Defy gravity.
He just grows a chin strap. Like, I've never seen that before.
Could we do the? Wow, it's fucking rough on you. Could we do this when we get to Austin? Can you guys wear the same clothes every day?
Please.
Can that be the fun thing? You get matching T-shirts and jeans.
He's gonna have to get the fucking matching clothes. He can match.
No, none of the dad shirts. Get out of the dad
No,
shirt
that's
thing
not
anyway.
cool for Austin. You're going to look like a dork.
I don't know
out
why
there.
you're dad shirting anyway.
I just got something I ran into. I like the dad shirts. I go to
Why?
JCPenney.
You just ran into them?
It's because of the shoulder surgery last year. That I
You
stuck
can't
with
wear a
them.
tee?
I can wear a tee
Then what do you tell me the shoulder story about?
because I just kept wearing them after the shoulder surgery.
It's a great story, but
The point is, you guys are going to be wearing matching clothing. That's cool.
well, you were thinking about going straight Western wear.
Yeah, I want to go to a Hattery and get like a nice cowboy hat.
A Hattery
Isn't a real fucking store.
That's made up. There's no such thing as a Hattery, nor is there a sockery.
A lids? Is that what you're talking about?
No, a nice Hattery, maybe a bootery.
Stop by the hosiery while you're at it.
He was thinking Haberdash, but he came up with Hattery instead. So we're having a meeting about Austin after the show, right?
Yes, we are.
You will not be there, Chris.
Why not? Why
I
can't
want the meeting to run
You,
smooth.
you also need to, buy your clothes and everything.
I'm not going shopping.
Plus, if you're in a meeting, it's always like this. I got that, Ron. You leave nothing for the others to do.
Ron, I got that.
I know.
I think I can handle that, and me alone.
Chris.
Yes, Ron.
In terms of radio producers,
Yes.
you are a superstar.
Well, thank you very much for saying
But
that. I appreciate that.
that means that the superstar shouldn't be carrying the fucking ball bag into. You know what I mean?
I like that reasoning.
It is. That's the reasoning.
Yeah.
You have to move up in life, and you have to let other people take over things.
I had a meeting with Vito yesterday, and he's taking over a bunch of stuff that I will not ever be talking to you about ever again.
You don't need to because you're a fucking superstar, dude.
Thank you.
You're a superstar.
Also, here's some. This is from that other time.
Is this a drug deal? What just happened?
He just hands me money on the air.
Expense report.
But what is that from?
From the snowstorm when we were all here in.
Well, guess what? Today's fucking hot. Why should it take so long to get this?
I don't know.
What did I pay for that day?
I was. We paid for dinner that night.
That dinner sucked.
But you didn't pay for it, basically. So that's nice.
I didn't like the way I felt after it. I felt like I was at a Fridays.
The shame.
That's more. There's more where that came from. Pending on expense reports.
I don't like to be part of that world.
It's a weird
so,
world.
Vito, this is what happened today. You were the only one not invited to this meeting because I go, should we keep it small? And they go, yeah, but we need Jen. So I go, now we're going to have a meeting and there's just no Vito. And I go, he doesn't talk in the meetings.
I like to be there.
I know you do.
I
know this is a big vacation for you and Chris.
Not a fucking vacation. Not for me.
You're acting like it, Chris. You're giving all your work to him. I don't know whether you're going to be down there under a beach umbrella having the time of your life.
Shit.
Jeremy says the younger girl from the tender, like the dad shirts, right?
Is that what it is? That's how you impress the ladies?
I've gotten compliments on the dad shirts on dates.
Screaming Goat says, have you ever been to a Willie Nelson concert? I have. He's one of my favorite songwriters of all time. But I will tell you this, because you would never expect to have that big, crazy concert feeling at a Willie Nelson show. But they started off with that, bow, they're just going up and down, and then it breaks into Whiskey River, and this giant Texas flag unfurls down like the size of the whole stage, and everyone goes batshit. I was so excited, I thought I was a fucking Dallas Cowboys fan. I was like fucking that, like, to see the Texas flag had me excited.
I hope that that's what happens when we land in Austin. That exact moment.
Well, we can be playing Bloody Mary Morning the whole time and just drinking Bloody Marys on the plane. That's what that song's about. Yeah, Willie's great. And when we met Willie, it was one of the...
Yeah. Like, it was a surreal experience, but it was so cool to talk to him. And, like, I don't know, he's got, like, that, like, wise old sage thing going for him.
God, yeah.
Where, like, I just felt like, tell us, Willie. Give us your knowledge.
Why are you playing this?
Bloody Mary morning.
Yeah, turn it off.
Gotcha.
Thanks. I don't know why we. Oh man, the stars call in to this show. This is the comedian Joey Cola, who is probably the best warm-up guy in the history of television. Joey, how are you?
Hey, Ronnie, how are you, man?
Good.
I just wanted to call in and give you an exclusive.
Good.
Whatever that means.
I need an exclusive.
I just wanted to tell you how surreal it was to watch Pete and Alan Havey do the job that I do every day. It was so. My wife and I watched it last night, that episode of Crashing,
Yeah.
And it's that's what I do every day. I've been doing warm up for 25 years and stand up for 35. So to see them, I knew when they were shooting it and stuff. I knew they were going to come in and do it. But to see them doing that, it was so surreal. And to see Havey flip out on that lady,
yeah,
I can't even tell you how many times that I wanted to do something like that.
Yeah,
So
did they nail what it's like to be able to do that?
Yeah, they pretty much they I'd say 75% of the way.
Yeah,
they kind of got it. It takes a lot more than to just have Pete know Sarah Silverman to come in and back somebody up.
Right.
His warm up is it's like a Green Beret of stand up type of thing. You got to be able to really roll with whatever goes on. I mean, at Rachel we do 3 shows a day.
Mm-hmm.
We do an 11, a 1:15, and a 4:15. So, it's a lot, but to see that, I just wanted to call you and let you know that it was a real out-of-body experience to see somebody playing you,
Now, also what people don't understand, if there's any kind of technical problems or show problems, that warm-up guy's got to maybe
just stretch
for an hour sometimes, and then bring it back and have it all seem like it's the same a minute later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and daytime is much different. And I'm doing Kevin James's show now too, and that's a sitcom.
Uh-huh.
But that takes between 4 and 5 hours, and I have a DJ with me, and we give out pizza and candy and that type of stuff. So that's much different. We shoot that here on Long Island at Gold Coast in Bethpage. It used to be the old Grumman studios, Grumman factories. But it's much different. So I do Kevin on a Friday night, and I'll do Rachel all during the week, So, but there are a handful of warm-up people out there that they kind of put down warm-up on Crashing.
Yeah.
But I'm doing pretty good.
You're doing real good.
They make it sound like it's a hacky type of job,
right?
But,
no,
my bills are paid. So
no. Everybody understands that if you can make a living at comedy, you've beat the odds. To make a great living at comedy is it's almost impossible. So
it's almost impossible, man.
Yeah, but you've done warm up for how many shows now?
I did Jon Stewart's original show before he had Politically Incorrect.
The MTV one.
With the Channel 9 show.
Yeah.
And then I went to Rosie for 6 years. I was at Martha Stewart for 7 years. I just finished up 5 years at Rachel. In between, I did the Marriage Ref and AGT, all the live shows, the finale shows at Radio City. I did all the Apprentice finales, Survivor finales, a million of them,
Who else?
I've been doing warm-up for 25 years.
Who else in the business do you think is really strong?
As far as warm-up is concerned?
Yeah.
R.C. Smith is one of the best. He does The Chew now. He was at Rachel for a few years. Tom Kelly is over at The View. Richie Byrne is over at Dr. Oz. They're all good. I taught them all how to do it. I'm known as the granddaddy of warm-up, and
Dude,
so they're all good. But you got to be quick on your feet. You got to be ready for anything, and you got to be really vulnerable. I mean, it's the ultimate vulnerability. When you're doing stand-up, you're doing your act, you're talking from your soul. But when you're doing warm-up, you're incorporating whatever clean stand-up you can add to it, but you're also got to think fast on your feet, and you got to tailor what you're saying to what's going on in the room, because it's not your show.
Right.
When you do warm-up, you're like the butler. You welcome people into Rachel Ray's house. When I'm doing stand-up, it's my house,
Yeah.
So it's much different, but I got to just tell you, I watched both episodes. The one when Artie came into the studio also.
Yeah.
And it was just such a surreal thing as a comic to see somebody else doing what you do every day.
I'm sure.
And then I was just listening to you guys, and I just wanted to talk to you about it. You know?
Thanks, man. And we should do a show sometime where we get some of the great warm up guys together and just sit around and do stories. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger Lundblade is out in L.A. He's doing it. You know, there's only like about 8 or 10 of us that are really doing it full time, that really make a good living at it and really pound it out. 180, 190 shows a year. So, and I'm going to be on. Kevin put me on the show again. I play the corn-eating principal, Larry Anderson.
Oh.
I was on in the fall, and he reprised my role. It's going to be on again on May 8th. I'll be on again.
That's very cool, Joey. All right, I'll talk to you soon, but let's we'll put that show together sometime. All right.
Yeah, you guys got my number. Give me a call. I'd love to do that, man.
Will do. All right. Talk to you later. Joey Cola, just seriously one of the great stand-ups, and his day job being warm-up of TV. It's such a weird, we talked to Wally about that. Wally's been the cue card guy for all these other shows. And just when you find that person who does that thing, that if you were there, right? Like if you go to some of these shows, you think about the warm-up guy when you leave more than you do the star of the show.
And it's true. It's when you have that specific skill set that you work on, you're invaluable at that point, because how nobody else could have the experience to do that just away. Even the best comics could not step in and do that because it takes a certain skill set, not just being funny.
But, he brought up that Pete was, or they were acting on the show as if it's not respected. No, it's definitely, respected.
It's got to be a pretty coveted gig, too.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
That's
if you can stay anywhere and do stand-up, if you can stay at any certain point and do stand-up, that's a phenomenal thing.
Well, Seth Herzog, he does for Jimmy Fallon.
That's a really good point. Seth Herzog is Fallon's guy.
Right.
And then he runs shows in the city, and the stars that come in to, do those shows.
Yeah.
But I who knows if you would have the skill set to do it or not. All I can tell you is very few people break into that game. Very few people.
Because I could imagine if you were given a gig like that, it's not like you can do anything to prepare yourself beforehand.
Well, do you remember when we were in DC, we just walked in cold to that studio, and it's something we hadn't thought about before we went, and we were just like, oh, this feels like a turd. You know what I mean? Like we had to eventually do the warm-up ourselves.
Right.
But it was a gigantic mistake not to have gone in if we didn't have anybody, and not to have done it ourselves. We just walked into, after having too long of an opening, you know what I mean? The whole opening shouldn't have been played in that thing. That's why we're having a meeting after today to try to figure out how you get away with that. But in TV, they think about that stuff constantly, and the pressure is on that guy.
Yeah.
Pete's show is so strange. Did you guys watch the last episode yet?
I haven't seen the last episode yet.
I can't tell. Vito, you've seen it? All right, good. I'll talk to you. Because these two,
I know,
can't get them
slow.
interested in comedy.
No,
I can't.
that's not
I
true.
won't caught up except for last episode.
Really? Because you just saw Rogue One. And from what I understand, it was one of the best Star Wars ever. And now, it made the original Star Wars New Hope better.
Masterpiece.
Chris, please, I'm talking to Vito about this.
Apologize.
Vito, you're moving up in the air. I'm trying to weed him off the show. I'm telling him he's a superstar as a way to...
Oh, God.
This
is fucking with me.
Try to get him away from his money is what I want. So that he won't have enough money to pay his rent. And he'll be out on the street.
Oh, Jesus.
Chris, a lot of the stuff that you hear me saying is just in your head. Oh. Okay? It's not me saying it.
Well,
that's the way you see the world.
That's just as troubling.
All right. Vito, you saw it, right?
Yeah.
Is Pete pro-religion or anti-religion? Because it was almost like You're a dick if you're a religious person, and you're a dick if you're an anti-religious person.
Yeah, when he was talking to the girl right before, when the pastor was talking to everybody, and he was saying like, "Oh, this shit again. Oh, we're gonna do this," and like anybody who's been to church knows most of the stuff is like you see the same stuff every time. The pastor,
yeah, I mean they got a greatest hits act.
Yeah, and they have a routine.
Yeah. Particularly if you're a Catholic. I mean, they have one small part improv. And then the rest of it, you're just going through it.
Yeah,
and usually that's the weakest part for a lot of it.
The improv?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It was weird about churches, too, is like when I got my ashes, there was 3 people in the church, but like the priest is up there doing his like full hour for like 3 people.
Well, it's just like if you go to a comedy show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
still got to sell it.
Yeah.
But it's bizarre when you...
Look, here's what I always say, right? Attack the people that aren't there, not the ones that are. Don't make them feel bad for sitting in the
right.
Yeah.
Okay?
And like, this is shit.
Yeah.
I guess
Thanks,
you guys are a
fuckers.
bunch of chumps for being
You
here.
fucking idiots are the ones who came here and paid money. So I hate you. Seriously. Run around and act like you're a crowd, okay? Just run around and keep laughing all over the room. How about when I set us up for the laugh bit and then Chris was just yelling instead of doing the laugh bit?
That was strange.
Do you not want to do this?
Yes, I do.
I don't know what we're talking about now. Hey, Tucker, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'm glad Gail's there because I had a situation. Hi, Gail. I had a situation the other day where I was on a date, and Gail actually popped into my brain in a weird way.
Interesting.
No. So I'm in my 40s now, but I've been in love with this one girl from high school for like literally like 30 years, and she's like kind of always on my mind. When I was in the Army, we used to write letters, and then there was MySpace, and then Facebook, and we never lost touch.
You slow play, bro.
And
very slow.
My trap. And we finally went on a dinner date, like literally after 30 years of the back and forth. And we're having a great time. The conversation's great, et cetera, et cetera. And then she was rude and dismissive to the wait staff. And I felt that PC&D conversation in my head, like, this sucks. This is not I don't want to be at this table. I'm dying a slow death. Well, she's like treating the wait staff like they're servants.
It is it's a pretty serious one. I mean, for some people, maybe it isn't. But for me, it's deal breaker status.
Tucker, let me just see if I can guess here. She's a Jew?
Yeah, good call. Long Island Jew.
Yeah.
And she's like inspecting every layer of the sandwich.
It's unbearable. They do this.
And then there's even a bonus round where I was like trying to power through it, and I'm like trying to make eye contact with the waiter, like I know she's a handful, etc. And then something came up. I actually had to take a work-related phone call. It was like actually important. So I put my credit card on the table and I said to her, like, Robert, just forge my signature. I got to take this phone call. And I ran out, and she tipped him the bare minimum on my card.
Oh God.
And I was like, this is deal breaker. Like, this is no longer hypothetical.
No.
This is real.
You wasted 30 years of your life pining for this girl.
Just think of all those letters you wrote.
For this
I know. And she saved them. Ugh. It hurts me to know they're out there.
Never talk to her again.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's a good sign. I mean, I've said it before. It's an old deal breaker for me.
Yeah. I did like the Vegas dealer. Like, well, back to the West Coast with you. You know.
Yeah. You just do that.
Yep. So, Gail, I'm just letting you know, it's real. Your PC&D came to life.
All right, Tucker. You know what?
Later.
Pretty good prize closet.
Yeah!
You did not win the girl of your dreams, but you're going to get something out of it. Pretty good prize closet.
Cool.
By the way, that thing kind of. I know that you guys don't watch Crashing, but I thought it kind of made Rachel Ray look bad, like her mom was somebody that would have someone fired.
Yeah, when he said that line walking out where he was like, why wouldn't anybody tell me that her mom was in the third row?
Right.
Like, that doesn't make anybody who's worked at something like that, somebody will give you a heads up, like, keep that person happy. Like,
but you know what? Yeah. If you're doing a warm up for a show, it's like if you're doing a corporate trick, you're not going to start talking blowjobs with old ladies. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, the only way you're going to do that if you're playing in some fucking club you don't give a shit about. But you know that you're at work. Like if someone walked by here, I don't know who's the VIP. You know what I mean? Somebody could be a giant stockholder. You know? I'm always like waving to people like, hey,
we love you.
Like, get the fuck away from the window. The genius is doing a show. Oh! You know what I mean? You never know who you're fucking up with.
Yeah.
Billionaires walk through here. We don't know it.
All the time. And their children.
Yes, their children.
Hey, kids.
I'll tell you, nobody hates anything worse than their kids having a bad time. But remember this in business. No one likes anybody better than someone who's nice to their family. So when you do that thing of, hey, look, I got 4 tickets to the circus. Why don't you take them? And then that guy gets to take his kids out or whatever. Or I got this signed baseball, you know. I got this signed cross by Tebow. Tebow's signing crosses now.
Signing crosses?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Wait, is that actually a thing?
No, he just signs a cross and hands them out to people.
No, you can't do that.
He'll sign Bibles for people.
That's sick.
I like this new Tebow. Should be
He's
doing this
cocky
in the
with
NFL.
these
Well, he
home
says the
runs.
cross is a T. That's his thing. So he'll take a cross and put an Ebo next to it. That's his deal.
That's actually kind of good.
It is
I get
good.
it.
Does he pick a certain psalm to sign by in the Bible?
You know what? He should no, Vito, because now you've gotten away from the bit.
Too
Look,
deep.
here's the
really.
thing. He also goes out at 7th inning stretches and runs against a hot dog, a hamburger, and an ice cream cone.
Cool.
Yeah. Who's going to win? It's always Tebow. I mean, he just buries them.
He doesn't have that stupid suit on.
He's wearing a suit that says Fireflies on the front of it. If that isn't fucking stupid for a grown man to be doing. The Fireflies. So what's the name of your ball team? We're called the Fireflies.
Cute.
We play somewhere in South Carolina. I might be down in South Carolina soon. I'm going to see how far away I am from Tebow. But I'm just going to go there and razz him. Fuck. You know, just stuff that'll hurt him.
Doesn't like that language.
Buddhist.
I don't care for that.
I can't go for that. Ooh. No Tebow. I can't go for that. Tebow. It's a strange name. I've never met
sounds
another
made
Tebow.
up.
Yeah.
Tebow sounds like a nickname for someone.
Tebow!
What's up, Tebow?
Tebow. All right, I'm going to ask you right now, point fucking blank. Is Tebow ever going to make it to the New York Mets?
The merch sales that he could bring in, I think, are enough motivation for them. But because they're actually a contending team now, like if this was 4 years ago, okay, you should shut the fuck up because you're a Yankees fan and you don't even watch the games.
I'm a.
Your team died with fucking George.
In case everyone forgot, I'm a Cubs fan. I'm from the north side from way back.
Really? Did you feel like their fucking party was long enough the other night before the game? An hour and a half to put up a flag?
It's been a while.
Stop it. It's done. It was last year. I don't like any celebration of last year during this year. So go ahead. I was trying to discuss with you when the superstar jumped into this.
Because they're a contending team now, I don't think they could give up the roster space. But if we just turn into a disaster like we sometimes do, then I do think they'll bring him up for merch sales for like one game.
That's embarrassing.
Well, I mean, look at Romo. If they'll bring up Romo for one game in the Mavs, I don't see why the Mets wouldn't bring him up for one game to sell jerseys.
I saw them talking about this on ESPN, saying they never would have done this for a black guy. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, come on, that's not fair. But I can't think of a black guy who would ever have got this. You know what I mean? Because he's not like Romo is Michael Jordan. He never won a championship for his fucking team.
Yeah. He has just more celebrity status than anything.
Well, I mean, he was a solid quarterback, but he wasn't the type of guy. He didn't win the fucking championship. It's that simple. You don't put a guy on that kind of a thing when he doesn't win a championship. Now he's going to go, and I tried to send a thing to Chris that print up a guy from Washington wrote to me, but So now we got to put up with this fucking Cowboys asshole. First of all, I feel like anybody I'm watching, I'm putting up with it. I feel like I'm putting up with a jerk off no matter who's hosting the game. I just feel like I should have a mic and sit there and do the game myself. Well, do you ever notice how I try to beat the color guy to stuff? And you'll hear them say a line like one beat after me, and it makes me feel like a fucking superstar. But the truth is, any man could do it. Anyone who's watched sports could do color commentary. And that even means you, Vito. Even though you're having, it's hard for you to jump into this conversation.
I'd love to see the two of you do it together.
Are you kidding me? Me and Dead Air? I'd fucking love to.
I would need a media book.
Here's the thing about you, Vito. You don't say anything until you say too much. I don't know how you do it. You're like a fucking Texas flood. There's no rain and there's nothing but.
That's why I would use the media book, so I could just be standing there and looking at the stats.
That's what
the
somebody
entire game.
wants. That's like this fucking Tappy Tap, the fucking idiot.
Do you want to be Tappy Tap the idiot, Vito, or you want to be a fucking
Page
sports
Turner.
broadcaster?
I thought you'd be talking about Kane today. You're the demon is running for mayor of what town?
Knox County, Tennessee.
Kane?
Yeah, Republican.
Get it?
I do get it.
Yeah, he's been getting into politics the last few years now, and he's like a.
Didn't he murder a girl once?
I think he
Didn't he burn a girl to
or
death?
Like did something to their unborn child.
Remember they used to say the name of her all the time?
Katie Vick,
something like
that.
that.
And then Triple H got into the coffin with her.
Do you want me to say Katie Vick's name?
Yeah, so now that he's left that in the past, he's getting into politics. But
I don't know. That's the kind of thing that can follow you around. Chris, are we going to do food for this meeting?
Yeah, we'll do food for this meeting.
What kind?
I'm going to check on that.
What are you checking with?
I will. I'm going to. I will figure out what food we're eating for this meeting.
Well, I'm asking you now. When are you going to do it? Are you going to put together a think tank for this?
I will during the break. I will figure out what food we're eating for this meeting.
The break will be too early.
What is
I don't want it for the break.
We're going to have air for this meeting? I will find out during the break.
I need it now.
What do you need, this money right back from me?
No. This will be expensed.
Yes, that's what happens with the expense, though. It lags.
But it does get back.
Oh, God.
You did get that cash back.
The way you just said that. It's so hilariously annoying.
He wants to be annoying.
Does get back. Am I right, guys? Huh?
Jesus.
Look, I'm going to take a break so Chris can figure out what humans eat. You are the superstar producer, though, Chris.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't
You are super.
want you doing any of this stuff. I don't want you doing stuff that's beneath you. I don't want you booking guests. I don't want you running the board. I don't want you talking into the microphone. I don't want you coming in here.
Oh,
you're too good.
So what then would I do if I'm just not even coming into work?
Well,
take a you day.
Yeah. Lay down next to a homeless person. See if somebody gives you some money.
Look, this church stoop is quite comfortable.
It's great because he made little cardboard walls for himself.
Can I give you a hint? Have a dog next to you. And put up a little sign that just says, need food for dog.
I'm going to get a couple dogs out there with me.
Dude,
you know what always annoys them is like when people come over and try to feed their dog. It's like, look, I want money to get my own. Don't bring dog food from home. I always see like a woman will come in and like have dog food and water for the dog and set it up for a homeless guy. And I'm like, you just proven that you like an animal better than a human
It's just
being.
horrible. You could have brought a sandwich too.
A dog belongs outside.
Yeah,
Right? A
they
human
do.
doesn't.
Dude, I saw a girl on the train the other day, and she was exactly the chick from Baskets, Trinity, I think. She looked,
Love Trinity.
She looked just like her, same kind of hobo punk rocker gear that she was wearing, and she had a dog with me. She's like, look, I'm doing the best I can for me and my dog. And she's like walking, and I was like, her shoes are more expensive than mine. Like, she had really nice boots. And I was like,
Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to bother you at this time. I could be out mugging people like I used to, but I don't want to do that anymore. I was once a chancellor at a small liberal arts college in New Hampshire. And why do they have the same cadence?
I don't know. They all do the same thing. There's also a woman who I see, I would say maybe twice a week. She rides my train in the morning. and she is a victim of domestic abuse. And so she tells the story,
Yeah.
but pinned to her are photographs of her beaten and laying in the hospital
That's
bed.
fucking
She's
hot.
pinned them to her clothing. And then the best part is, if you could donate anything, even $1, even if you don't have cash, you can visit my GoFundMe. She has a GoFundMe. Sure. I've never heard of this before.
I'll give her such a fucking smack if I see her doing that. What did I tell you about buying money off of people? Huh? What I fucking tell you? Now you go out to the car, you don't look at anybody, and you don't say goodbye. Why would that make you laugh like that, Chris?
I'm a bad person.
Disgusting. Chris.
I was trying to play the part
She
of a
was a
horrified.
villain. This woman was beaten, Chris.
Yeah.
She
I'm
has a
doing
pitch to
Eric
prove.
Roberts with fucking missing a thumb. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been stuck on a satellite radio show for more years than I could tell you. Please go to my GoFundMe right now and go fund me. Okay?
If you donate $5, there are plenty of bonuses available.
It's like a tote bag.
You get this pin.
It's a tote bag with her beaten face on it.
Ladies
That's
and
not
gentlemen,
funny.
without your help, I cannot stay out here panhandling. I need you as much as you need me. What if people would get up and just started telling facts from the Civil War as a way of, like, instead of like dancing or playing music, another fact from the Civil War. Stonewall Jackson was named after the walls of that time where they would put stones together. No clue.
That's worth $1.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that at work today.
Many people believe Grant to have been an alcoholic, but he was also a morphine addict, as well as an early carrier of VD.
I know about the VD.
Many of you may not know how many Native Americans fought in the war.
No clue.
Side by side with their Negro brothers.
Can I have the $1 back?
As we sit in this Underground Railroad, I'd like to remind you of another Underground Railroad.
Good.
This is pretty good, actually.
We got to take a break here, all right, guys? And then we can talk about FanDuel the way you wanted to, Chris.
Thank you.
When we get back, Chris is going to tell us what we'll be having for lunch today. Bennington. Oh, the college musical knowledge. I'm ready to go into that because I can't do my homework anymore. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. We're throwing that out to the great Jay Giles, the guitar player for the Jay Giles Band, who we lost last night. Now, Joey in New Rochelle wants to make sure I don't have a bad enough day. He wants to add to it. Joey, what do you got?
Sorry for the depressing news, Ronnie, but Mr. Charlie Murphy, dead, 57 years old, I believe leukemia.
Oh, that's really sad.
You know, somebody was just telling me today that leukemia is, if you catch it early, the chances of prolonging your life goes way, way up. Like,
Yeah.
this used to be the death sentence, but Charlie Murphy, very, very funny guy. Everyone knows he's the brother of Eddie Murphy, but also went out and had his own career. Doing the Chappelle show was, of course, a really big kick for him, but his stand-up was also something that he had done for many, many years. So that's man, it's just a bad. They're killing him one after another. Vito, put up a wall around us. Tell Trump that we don't want the wall around Mexico. We now want it around us to protect us.
A safety wall.
And tell him that we want to do the safety dance inside.
Yeah.
And then just put on your note, you can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
He'll get it.
I think he will. Okay.
He'll know what I
Because
mean.
if you dance and your friends don't dance, then they're no friends of mine. And then dance.
You can
dance. Everybody look at my pants. Jen, I want you to take on, as we're trying to... Chris is retiring and trying to strip him of his stuff.
Not retiring him. Young man.
I want you to put an end to death. So if you can do that...
If you could please figure that
would
out.
be...
And like by end of show would be...
That would be, as you say, zaddy. That would be zaddy. By the way, I want to start...
Zam, zaddy.
I want to start, if we can start saying bangtastic when we like something. Like, that shit was bangtastic.
But can I do it like, that's fantastic?
First of all, the answer is yes. Way to tag it. That's fantastic. You act like you don't love those movies.
I do. I truly do.
Well, then you'll love The Cobbler.
Can't wait.
Well, it's already been out, so I don't know what you're waiting for.
What the fuck am I waiting?
You got to get to crashing first.
It's true.
So, guys.
No, he's done with that. He's done with shows. Don't worry about the format. That's out of the question for you.
Yesterday, while I was on my way home from work, I had a pretty big sighting.
Oh, shit.
Now, I will tell you, this sighting, it was very peculiar because I was getting on the train. I was waiting for the F train, and this person got on the... excuse me, I got to take this. So 1-800 number, so I'm sure it's fine.
Oh, good.
This person was getting on the M train. So it took me a moment to even believe it because I would not have thought this person to be getting on the train with the rest of us plebes.
Well, you've got to travel around the city, and it can get, it can take forever.
Could be easier. You can't wait for Uber all the time.
Yeah, but even when you get in an Uber, you're sitting in fucking traffic this time of year.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to guess?
So I would like for you guys to 20 questions.
Okay.
Who did I see on the M train?
Celebrity on the M train.
A celebrity on the M
first.
train.
Was it a member of the Jesus and Mary chain?
That's such a good guess, but no. So I guess that narrows it down.
Surprising.
Were they Caucasian?
That's racist, but no, I would not qualify this person as Caucasian.
That's stupid.
I didn't
And it
guess
was
too.
weird to bring it up. No.
Was it a comedian?
No, this person is not a comedian.
Has he been in any recent TV shows?
He has not been in any recent TV
Then
shows.
let me try this.
But
has she been in any recent TV shows?
yes, she has.
Looks like somebody's a little sexist.
So we got a racist, a sexist, and
we're
someone
back to
who only
the
loves comedy.
yeah, back to where trains were just for men back in the 1900s.
Is she older than 30 years old?
She is not older than 30 years old.
Shit.
Is she a musician?
She, I believe, has some musical talents, but I don't think that...
But we just saw her in a TV show, you said.
Yes, that, like, more than anything, she is known not for music.
Okay.
Has she dated any celebrities, guys?
Interesting. I'm not one for the tabloids. But considering that she is a young star, I'm sure that there's been some rumor or something like that, but not currently in like some big celebrity couple that I can think of.
But you are saying sexy celebrity.
I would say yes, sexy celebrity, very attractive.
Here's what throws me off: the TV star.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watch so few shows. Would this have been a show that I have witnessed?
100%.
We're keeping it 100.
Has she been on an HBO show?
Yes, she has.
I know it is.
Is she a model?
Oh my God, how stupid.
Why
wouldn't you try to build on Palm where we're going?
Yes.
Because you said you were going on sexy, so I was wondering if it was.
If you know
mainly-
that this person is a sexy actress,
I know who it
you
is.
know that this person has dabbled.
Because I know the show. I don't watch that many shows.
Yeah, I think I know who it is too.
Who do you got?
Zoe?
Is it Zoe?
what?
Kravitz.
It is Zoe Kravitz.
Nice job, Jen.
You did it, Jen. And here's the thing. I was in such shock when I saw her. Because at first I was like, oh my God, it's Zoe Kravitz. And then I was like, it can't be because she had different hair. And it was like for
What do
a
you mean
second.
different hair?
She was not rocking her Bonnie long dreaded look.
She's a blonde.
Yes, she is. And I actually had to, as she was sitting there waiting for the train to take off, I was like, let me go to her Instagram. Let's see what her do looks like
While
right
she
now.
was sitting there?
While she was sitting there.
I'd be petrified in case I dropped my phone.
I know, I was terrified. I went to her Instagram, and 4 days ago, she was like, look, I just cut my hair. And she has a blonde pixie right now. And that is exactly what she looks like.
Wow.
And can I say, you know, I maybe have once or twice mentioned it would be impossible for her to reach the beauty status of her mother.
The great Liz Bonet.
Impossible. So, like, I would be like, yes, she's attractive, but, like, she's not Lisa Bonet attractive. I'm sorry. I retract my statement. I have seen her in the flesh, and she is 100% that beautiful. She was so ridiculously stunning. It made me sick.
You know what I would say to her is go, excuse me, Zoe, I know you just got on a train, but are you going to go my way?
So I think she would have liked that.
Yeah, because of her dad's song.
You know, I want to throw this out there.
Yeah.
Also, a SUNY Purchase grad.
Oh,
she went to SUNY Purchase when I went to SUNY Purchase, but she was younger than I was, and she. I mean, she's matured, if you know what I mean. I mean,
Sure
she
do.
looks very.
Sure do.
She looks quite womanly these days.
Well, I noticed that since Big Little Lies. But the weird thing is, you just saw her commit a murder.
I know.
Covered up murder.
But justified? I think so.
See,
But
she better let love rule. You know what I'm saying, guys?
what I wanted to tell her is, you know, I saw your dad just weeks ago dance and shake his crotch in front of the glass.
Yeah, that is true.
And it was a very exciting moment. And I've had quite a few private moments to your father. So
You know, the reason why she was taking the train is, you know, Mr. Cab Driver. Am I right, guys?
You know,
that was the first song that let me know that black people couldn't get a cab in New York. And then after becoming friends with Black Earl,
yeah,
I couldn't believe that it was true.
it was crazy to me. Like, I noticed when I started high school, the first time it ever happened to me, it was like a rainy day. I had two friends, and they were standing on the corner, and they were like, "Oh my God, thank God you're here. We've been standing here for 20 minutes. Will you hail a cab for me?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, they don't stop for black people. Would you hail it? And I'm like, yeah. I put my hand out, and a cab just rolls right up. And I was like,
Earl used to walk me outside after the show because he can't stop talking once he starts. And I'd have to say to him, Earl, take 2 steps back until I get my cab. And he would have to take 2 steps back into the shadows where it looked like he wasn't wanting me, and he'd still keep talking, and then a cab would pull over. But if they thought it was me and Earl, they wouldn't pull over.
That's crazy.
And then Aunt did a thing when we were on 57th Street. It was with Patrice O'Neill. He had Patrice on one side of the street trying to hail a cab. This is a guy that most people now consider one of the greatest comedians who have ever lived. And Anthony was on the other side of his street wearing a Nazi helmet, and as he was giving the Nazi salute to get picked up, and got picked up before Patrice.
So bad. It's so terrible.
And you know, I was watching that thing last night when there was colored bathrooms and all that kind of stuff, and you can't use the same coffee pot, and it was in my lifetime. Like when people act like, oh, something happened, it was in one person's lifetime. That's how fucking crazy the world is.
I actually have a memory of an adult who I, trusted. You're a kid and you're like, oh yeah, clearly adults know things of the world. And I was in a public place, and this person, I was thirsty, went to a water fountain, and she said to me, don't drink from that. The black kids drink from that.
What?
And I was like, oh my God. And I was just little.
Right.
And I remember just being like chills, like, oh, this is an adult who's very wrong about something. And then I was like, do I just say like, I'm cool with it? Like, I'm like, yeah, I know they do. That's totally fine with me. But yeah, it was like one of those weird moments where you're like, oh,
why not
weird.
just say people wash their socks in that, or some bums
You could have lied to me.
urinate in there.
You didn't have to try to convince me of that.
No, people do wash their socks I've seen homeless people washing their clothes in water fountains before.
I have seen someone stick their feet in a public bathroom sink and like lather a foot up before.
But like if I'm in the park and there's a water fountain, I don't use it.
Yeah, it's not
I've
a
seen
good idea.
Too much stuff. One of those people I saw taking a bath in a water fountain was Vito.
Hot summer days.
Chris, what did you come up with over the break?
How about we order some pizza from Harry's Pizza Kitchen Bakery?
That took you all that time to come up with.
Well, I had it. I just didn't say it out loud.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Why?
Why say that so sad, Chris?
I didn't want to interrupt Gail's story as well.
No, before when we started this, you dope. Why?
I mean, and yes, I agree that would have been inappropriate in the middle of my 20 questions.
Yes.
And
But
by
the
the
thing
way,
is,
I'll use
you've
my
had the
turn
same
to tell you.
thought for the last 3-4 times that we've done it.
3 times.
So why did it? Why did you have to wrestle with it this time?
I'm not
Vito, does that work for you?
Yeah, well,
Because you're not going to be there.
Good.
Oh, yeah, well, it does. So you guys, I think, will enjoy Harry's very much. It's good neighborhood pizza.
Let's have a vote right now whether we want Vito at the meeting. I vote no. Chris?
No.
Gail?
Jen?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm going to go yes, so that's split.
Oh, no. Oh, great. That means that the vote hangs in Vito's vote.
Then I vote that I will go to the meeting.
Okay, then you're going to be the only one there.
So I'm going to have my own meeting?
Yes. We're going somewhere else. We're going to Harry's.
What do you need me to do at my meeting?
Just wonder why you don't fit in.
Aw.
Why am I always a misfit? Why am I always have to eat shit?
Those aren't the lyrics.
You can fire me. I eat shit. Shit. Eating Vito.
Oh my God, I never realized how much that song reminds me of you.
Yeah, I don't remember that very much.
I said to Vito, I go, you going to eat? He goes, I have to shit first. That's what he said to me.
You gotta clear out. You want to eat more, you gotta clear out room.
Oh, gross.
I hate when people talk about shitting and eating it.
I don't
hate
like it.
It's awful.
I don't like it.
I don't rock and roll. This should be the one we don't like something. Let's go because I don't rock it at all.
I don't rock it at all.
That's good. What was the other thing we were going to start doing more of? Oh yeah, Beat-tastic.
Bang-tastic. That's bang-tastic.
So stupid. You're just going back and doing. Why don't we just say Quack-tastic?
I'm fine with that.
Quack, 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 quack.
I love that, like, he really had the kids on his side at that moment. Like, everyone is like, that is pretty great.
Yeah. Once you get the kids to roll your way, it's good.
And it's in reaction to finding out he just graduated. Which
You love that man.
Fantastic. I do. I truly do. Why? Because he gave me joy as a child.
And as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
He's never stopped giving you joy. I don't even know what. There's a guy I've never seen. He's on 3 different TVs at the same time.
It's Laprof.
I don't know.
This is so curious.
All right, the Russians are saying they didn't do the chemical attack, and who's the Russian agent who does WikiLeaks? What's his name? The Russian agent,
Assange, Julian Assange.
He said that. Please say alleged chemical attacks, as if maybe those children died from bad fucking oysters. They probably ate bad oysters because you can't get a good oyster in the desert.
Oh my
Remember
God.
that when you go to Vegas, folks. Because when we were going out for sushi in Vegas, I'm like, "Where's the ocean? How fucking far is the
Where is
sushi
this
traveling?"
from?
Yeah. Is it fucking coming over the Hoover Dam for some reason?
Or worse, in an aquarium. They just have an aquarium.
Aquariums always, the big kind, make me want to dive in there.
Do you?
Yeah, I get so fucking hot. And I'm like, but they're swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I?
Does it make you uncomfortable to swim with fish, though? Like if you're at the beach and fish are swimming
I'm
around
very
you?
comfortable swimming with fish. I'm kind of like Aquaman when I get around them.
It does freak
By the way,
me out.
worst hero name? Aquaman? Waterman. Is his name. I'm Waterman.
Turn into water?
Stupid Aquaman. I mean, Fishman would have been better.
Yeah.
Fishman?
I'm a Fishman. I own a pickle place downtown, the Fishman's Pickles. Occasionally we'll put on a funny dress and do a dance for people. Come to Fishman's. Hey, do you like pickles? I mean, really like pickles? Come to Fishman's. And no, we don't sell fish, despite the name Fishman. Now I put 7 cheeseburgers in my hand. Jen, have you ever dated a Jewish person?
No.
Seems like someone is a little anti-Semitic.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yes, it is.
I was thinking
Okay.
Spicy moment.
I was thinking that's weird. Like, I've never dated a Jewish guy. It's weird.
Yes.
Because I think they're some.
If you move to New York City, you will have no choice.
And that's what it is. Because when I was in Florida, majority of the time, there's not a lot of Jewish people.
Well, there's elderly.
It depends on what part of Florida.
yeah.
Yeah, when you're in South, it's nothing. There's a lot of Jewish people. But you're in
Central,
which is redneck Florida.
There's a lot of Spanish people where I was.
If you would have hit the retirement communities, maybe you could have found a nice gentleman
West
for yourself
Palm or something.
Yes, from West Palm down, a lot more Jewish people because they came down in 95. And they went straight to Miami. They've always loved Miami.
Why 95?
Well, because they're coming down from New York.
So they're just like one straight shot.
Yeah, one straight shot.
Okay.
Because it's not like they're coming in from Alabama.
Right.
I were Jewish people from Alabama.
How?
The Fishmans. Anybody know we're getting good old gefilte fish around here, barbecue style? All right. Our guy that used to be an intern for us.
Jam band.
Yes, jam band. He goes to me, Ron, can we get you to do Eddie Trunk's show? I go, sure. Just tell me when you'd like me to do it. He goes, it's an open invite. Eddie's been saying that since I came in. There's no, just walk into the room. No. He has guests. Book me.
Mm-hmm.
Book me like you would any pretty lady. You know? I can't just go walking into the room. And now it seems like Eddie's turned Hard Rock Johnny against us.
Oh my God, that really hurts.
Johnny has completely cut us out and doesn't call us anymore.
It really makes me upset because, like, I really feel like Johnny's one of our dearest friends, and to think,
I was going to say family.
yeah, I mean, he's one of us. Gooba Gab.
Well, did you ever hear the song "We Are Family"?
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah. It's just like
I got all my sisters with me.
yeah, like I mean,
You know what?
Johnny's always been like the older sister I never had, or at least that I never met.
The older sister I never had would be Peggy, but I did have her. My sister was crazy about me when I was a little kid. Like, literally just lied and told me everything I did was good. Like, every single thing. Like
a good dancer.
Well, she would, yes. And then she would get me to sing songs, and then she'd be like, you're as good as anybody on TV singing that song. And I thought, I probably am. Probably am that good. Starting to think I'm that good, as my sister said, so I better think about my career.
I like that she took you like third wheel on all her dates.
Took me everywhere.
It was so cute.
I was a young cock block. Blocking cocks. But that's weird, right?
It's very cute, though.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, it's very
And I
nice.
think it's probably a good judge of character, too, if you're like dating a guy and you're like, let's see how he is with my little brother. If he's like a good dude to my little brother.
Yeah, but in that case, you know, Vito would be good and Chris wouldn't.
Right, exactly.
You know?
That's precisely what I'm saying.
So wait a minute. And I want you two to be honestly true about this. Who's more marrying material, Vito or Chris?
Vito is more marrying material. He's very husbandy. You know, I could see him being.
husband?
Wait, Jen's thinking.
Like right now, like
Yes.
them. Okay, I would maybe say Chris
Why is that?
because Chris, like, he has his own place. Like just because of those.
Oh, right.
but-
'Cause she thinks of things differently.
She's
than I do.
superficial.
She is. He's like, he
Can I
makes
tell you
more
something?
paper than Vito does.
You might be,
drunker.
yeah. No, Chris, you're missing the point.
No, she's giving you a compliment.
How do you miss this?
The few times you're actually getting a compliment from a human woman, just like let it happen.
How did you miss it?
Because I'm a fool.
Are you a fool, or did you understand what she was saying?
I understand. It was good it's a good thing, I guess, that I'm the more marrying kind.
But why are you the marrying?
Because I'm fucking responsible. I'm more responsible.
No,
than
you
Vito.
don't. You're not responsible.
No.
Your mother died. Vito's still alive.
It's a difference.
She made the mistake of thinking that you live in a palace instead of the way that I think. But I've seen the outside of his building and it's gorgeous. There's no reason for his place to look like shit. And yet, I did see him on Periscope, and it looked like he was in the honeymooner's old apartment.
There's nothing on the walls, and there's very old, smoke-stained...
There's smoke stains on the wall.
Yeah, there is. But I stopped smoking. But that's like 10 years of fucking.
But you could go fucking lick your own wall and just your nicotine habit would be fine.
I'm using the patch.
My apartment walls are a patch.
But I think some girls will walk in there. Like, I would walk in and be like, oh, this needs a little cleaning up, a little feng shui.
But what you wouldn't want to see is Vito's mom there.
Yeah, that would be a
She's a
little...
very welcoming host.
I would prefer to bunk up with Leslie.
By the way, unless feng shui has Clorox in it. Did you guys see the guy that they put glasses on and he was able to see color the way everybody else does?
So I've heard of this thing that this is, I don't know if this is brand new. Somebody made these glasses. So it just completely opens the spectrum up.
Yes.
For the first time ever. This is like
not for everybody. I mean,
Right, you
this
have to
guy
have
was color blind.
Right.
Right? So if you watch this, I don't know why you're jumping so far into it, but you see that they set balloon. Well, he's way into it. Go to where he first puts them on. They put balloons up in front of him, and he's seeing the difference in colors of these balloons for the first time in his life. It's overwhelming to him.
It's so this is his family who did it.
Yeah. You gotta put some sound up. Look, he had to take the glasses off and start crying.
He's bawling.
He had never seen. Look at the balloons. It's so cute that they put these really colorful balloons. But there's another part that's adorable because he keeps putting the glasses on and off. Then he sees that his blue hat, the color of his team's colors for the first time.
See the balloon color?
And later he's just watching cartoons.
It's so...
You bring
I love that he laughs at the color of the hat, like almost like, oh my goodness.
Now, I wouldn't think that could happen with shades, that you could put shades on and see color better. That's what's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it's doing, but it's so weird because he's seeing something like that doesn't even, it's so hard for someone who sees the full spectrum as we know it to fathom what it might be like to see a color that we don't know exists.
You know, people see color differently than you do, better than you do. There are people who, when they look at the color green, see a mixture of yellow and blue.
Right.
They see the yellow and blue in green. Okay? They look at orange or brown and see all the colors it takes to make up orange or brown.
Yeah.
That's fucking mind-blowing.
And that in the spectrum, that in between each of those colors that mix, there's even deeper, further colors that we're just like, yeah, that's just like pink.
Mhm.
But there's like so many specifics.
Like there's 50 kinds of pink, probably.
Right. And that you would be able to see that with way more definition than you ever could. Like that moment.
But you know what is bad? Some people also see like blotches on other human beings. Like they'll see the imperfections or single, like instead of seeing a beard with Chris, you'd see single hairs.
Ugh.
And it's pretty disgusting. Or they look in meat and see the texture of meat in a way that you don't want to.
It's like when you like watch like really HD TV for the first time and you were like put on the news and you could see like people's pores and like the makeup. And now I don't really pay attention to that anymore. It doesn't look as weird to me. But the first time I saw HGTV was becoming popular, I was like, I don't want to see all this like this is too much detail for a human face.
Yeah. I turned mine off, so
Like
you just see regular TV.
You could understand, like, okay, maybe for sports and for
Not even for them. I don't want to see each fucking drop sticking to the camera lens.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Like every blade of grass looking like sharp.
I don't want sharp glass. I want old style, just green.
Yeah, just like a big green mush.
So this guy should take these glasses off and leave them off.
Destroy them.
There's like a cute moment because like one of the people in his family like comes over and she's crying and she's like, oh, this is so sweet. But then I hear someone else and she's just like, Dad, do you hate it? Like, that's not why he's crying. He's like, I hate color.
Well, the reason that one girl was crying, because I watched the whole thing, she was going to use that money to get a new car.
Oh, no.
And her dad couldn't see too good, so she had to use her good car money to that.
That is a shame. Well, now I understand why she's so upset.
I don't know if I'd want to see everything that was happening out there.
Like,
did you ever sit in a room and you're like, you see like a sunbeam and you're like, oh, there's some dust in that sunbeam. And then you're like, no, there's dust everywhere that we're breathing in and out.
We're just like living in it all the time.
We're
really
living on a prayer. Bon Jovi.
Like, for example, something that's like ultraviolet light that we can't see. That would be like in a certain spectrum, you would be able to visually see that light, and it would be like some sort of maybe shade of deeper purple or something that we can't even pick up
correct. Yes, there's things that you can't see all the time.
That's
all the
really
time.
weird. And I know that I had read this story, and I don't want to say, I don't know how true it is, but it was about some woman who is like 1 in a billion people who's born with having an entirely different spectrum than us. So like she's seeing colors that we don't see, and she's like, yeah, I don't think it's weird, but I don't know really what you guys are looking at.
Well, you know that we don't see anything. We only see light bouncing off of it.
Yeah.
So if you're in a totally black room, that's the way things should look.
Right.
Totally black. You can't see them. Then all you see is the light banging off the person. So we don't even see Chris when we're looking at him. We're looking at light bouncing off his patchy beard, off his wet armpit, particularly the right.
It's the right's wet.
Yeah.
Left's pretty dry.
So through this reflection of light, we can see the way his armpits sweat. The baller, as he's being referred to by Jen, with his feng shui pad and his bangtastic stereo system.
It's quite bangtastic.
What is this, Chris?
You have to do one more live.
Well, I have an awkward moment. Johnny's on the phone. Johnny.
Bennington's.
Awkward.
See, you keep making it awkward, so then I can't call anymore.
Yeah, no, we want you to call, Johnny.
friends.
You're our friend.
And family.
Yeah.
And sister, apparently.
My big sister, Johnny.
I've always wanted to be someone's big sister, so that's good.
Well, you got there, Caitlin.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's the thing. You think anyone has masturbated thinking about Caitlyn Jenner?
I have.
Have you seriously?
No, I have not. I
Because the
lied.
question would be, would that make you gay?
Doesn't make you gay.
Does it make you gay if you go to Key West?
Hell no, man. It makes you fed.
What's the anniversary from that song?
You know what? You make it awkward, you fucker. How about that?
I don't like being called a fucker. You know what I mean?
Well, then, too bad.
I mean, that does seem like family.
Yes.
Darian just wrote to me, did you see that Charlie Murphy passed away at 57? Well, there's a restaurant up the street called 57. It makes me feel like he died there. I get it right back. Yes, very sad, Jeffrey. Oh, I have my picture taken with him 900 times.
And just put in there at the end that you miss Rue 57, the restaurant, as well.
I did like Rue 57.
Yeah, that was like a
nice-
frequent
it was a good
spot.
Everything is gone, Johnny. Everything is gone.
Not everything.
Well, the Hard Rock on 57th is gone.
It is. It is. But
That's
it will
what I
rise
consider
again.
the Hard Rock. That was the first one I went to
Yeah.
back in the 80s.
That's an OG.
Mm-hmm.
God, I did some good events there, too.
I was there one time, and a guy was trying to pass himself off as Rod Stewart, and he wasn't Rod Stewart. And that's true.
Was he dining there?
Yes. He was dining there, and he was all dressed up as Rod Stewart, and people were coming over, and he was signing stuff for him, and I came past him, and like this, I know you ain't fucking Rod Stewart. I go, I went to see the fucking faces, so I know Rod Stewart. All right?
He used to come in all the time.
The Rod Stewart guy?
That Rod Stewart guy was always at the Hard Rock on 57th Street when we used to be up there.
Wow, that's so crazy. And then people just don't question it because it's the Hard Rock?
No, because they're excited. Like you when you saw the fake Lisa Bonet daughter.
No, I saw the real Zoe Kravitz, who was also with a very handsome gentleman.
I know. What do you expect to be with a pig?
Real handsome. Is it a celebrity dating thing?
He's a photographer.
Okay. He was very attractive.
But she was dating
He's a shutterbug.
Chris, try to find a pic of this lad.
Do you see Lynch knocked the thing out of somebody's hand yesterday? Knocked her camera, Marshawn Lynch, and then spit in
Oh,
the
no.
general direction. You got the shutterbug?
I got the shutterbug.
All right, let me see him. He's
Well,
tall.
it's so far away, though.
What is
Please
this, a
zoom
Carole
on
King song? Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. That's the gentleman.
The guy on the right or the guy?
Yes, the guy on the yeah, the one in the picture with. Yeah, handsome dude.
All right, do we got to go to break here?
We do have to go to break.
Well, Johnny, I wish we had more time for you.
Well, maybe another day if I feel less awkward, I'll call back.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Bye, sissy.
Bye, Benningtons.
You call somebody a sissy.
I'm not sissy.
Sissy is his name for sister.
I know, but no one thinks of it that way. They think of it as a sissy, as if he takes it in the ass. See, lets another man put their hard penis in his ass.
I don't judge. He could do that.
Look at Vito got excited by that
I
time.
have an Aunt Sissy, so I got really excited about that.
That's your mom's sister, right?
Yeah, sister-in-law.
It's weird.
So you call sister-in-law sissy? She's a sissy to someone. She's someone's real sister.
Someone's real sister, yes. It's not...
But see, that term has almost been gone now. Like,
Yeah.
no one ever calls their sister sissy anymore.
No, it's not. It is. It's not very common, but it's like in my family.
My mom would get called Aunt Sissy.
Yeah, and that was bizarre to me from the other side of the family, who would say about my grandmother, like Aunt Sissy said that. I'm like, Aunt Sissy? That's not her.
Well, it's always weird when someone says aunt when it's your actual grandmother.
Oh no.
I like when little kids just call you by their first name like you go to school with them. Ron, I got a question for you. Gail's friends would do that. They would do two things. They would never say Mr. or Mrs. They just said.
No.
And then they would also not understand that you knock at the door and people come and open. They would just open the door.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone in my neighborhood friends were just like Kramer. They just
were.
like walked in.
And they would all be like this, Ron, is there anything to drink?
It's hot
Or
today.
should I go check myself? Let's come right back. This is Bennington. That's the great Jay Giles. We lost him last night. Found out today we lost Charlie Murphy to leukemia, age 57.
It feels like all news is bad news.
All news is bad news, you know? I was just telling that to Donald Trump yesterday. I said, we need some good news.
That's
He
no
goes-
news.
He goes, I got some good news for you. It's going to be an atomic war.
No, that's bad news, Trump.
Oh. Well, look who's here.
Our buddy Ian Fidance is coming in studio. Ian's performing at Levity Live next Wednesday, April 19th at 7:30 p.m. He'll also be at the Delaware Candlelight Theater with Carmen Lynch on 4/20. Go to
420, y'all.
Go to ianfidance.com for tickets and additional dates. That's ianfidance.com.
Ian likes to come in high-fiving, and he knocked my blue out. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, good to see you too, man.
I'm glad you got that 420 gig with Carmen Lynch.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Very cool.
Getting high in Delaware.
Well, you got to wear some platform shoes if you're going to do a show with her.
I have platforms.
Smart.
Yeah. Old cowboy boot platforms. Yeah. When I used to teach, they were my nice teaching shoes, and a kid told me he was going to shove them up my ass.
So I just acted like I didn't hear him.
Yeah. Smart.
That's how you get the respect.
Yes, you do.
You ignore them.
You ignore them. Now, how old were the kids?
This was high school.
Yeah.
But when I taught high school, I loved it. The kids were great. High school was all day, wonderful. Grade school, awful. Monsters, terrible.
I don't think I could do it.
I think middle school is like that like 6th through 8th grade.
You're a
kind
demon.
Of yeah,
A
that
complete demon.
People
terror.
like you can kind of put up with your own kids at that age, but you can't put up with anybody else's.
Hell no.
Right, but also they don't understand anything. Like high schoolers got it. They were cool. Like they'd come in and I'd be like, all right, you guys are in alphabetical order today. And they'd be like, oh, is it because you don't like black kids? I'm like, yes, Marquise, actually don't come in the room. And they're like, ha, 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 ha. And then grade school, they just, I mean, you say one thing. It was like, take out your black pens. Like, that's racist. I'm like, what? Anthony, shut the fuck up.
Well, you know, I remember years ago in the military, they stopped using the term blackboard. And they came up with another phrase because blackboard.
Like you'd have to say chalkboard, not blackboard.
Yeah, it was something along
What
those
about
lines.
whiteboard?
Yeah,
That's something else.
well, I mean,
Dry
white,
erase.
white
What
people
about
are
engine
okay
board?
with everything. I like the Jew board. I'm like,
Yeah, the Jew board. Yeah.
Walk up to the Jew board.
Yeah. Take out your Chinese pen. Oh my God.
Is there how many besides white people? Does anyone not get upset about racism? Like, can you not? Like, I guess Asian people get upset.
I mean, they take a lot of shit. I mean, once in a while, you'll hear them be like, come on, this is just too much. But they take a lot
Like
of
what?
shit. Like, once in a while, they'll be like, now we're, like, I don't know, maybe if there's like a
every
fucking gong
Chinese New
sound
Year.
effect.
Bong, yeah.
It's like they're
Year
like,
of the outrage.
Yeah. But yeah, well, there would be that thing back in the 80s where there would be just a Chinese person would chop gong.
We are very serious. Dude, John Belushi got famous off the Samurai Chef.
Yeah. And
He
they
was
was just going, oh.
Just chopping shit. They're like, this is hilarious.
This is funny. He looks like a Chinaman.
They do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. That's how it is when you go get a sandwich there. It's exactly like that.
Benihana. Welcome to the Benihana.
But you know, there's like a lot of Mexican guys working at Benihana now, and they still do the Chinese or Japanese stuff.
Oh, dude,
You know?
I was there a couple weeks ago for a buddy's birthday, and the guy was like learning on the job. He was like Chinese rep, and then he kept dropping his knife, and we're like, "What? Don't light the fire!"
Right? You're scaring the shit out of us right now.
Oh my God, those things were delightful to me as a child.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh my God, a restaurant, but fun.
And they throw the shit and they put it in the hat like a trash can.
Oh,
He kept
they got
missing
all
his
the
hat.
tricks.
Yeah, you gotta
Chuck a
get
shrimp in your mouth.
Yeah, you gotta be good to do. I mean, it's like the Harlem Globetrotters. You got to be perfect at those things. You can't just have the idea of it.
You can't be an intern on the court. You need to be a master.
I actually remember the first time I was really little. You know how they give you the leftovers in like the swan? They make like the little swan. And I remember like sitting it on my lap on the way home, like, I'm going to keep this. I hope they'll just let me keep this.
Sure.
Hanging on your wall.
Just rotting Chinese food and like sleeping next to it in bed.
Put it under your pillow. You get a fortune cookie in the morning.
I'm going to get one more race thing in. Is there any place white people go that they don't end up running the joint? Like, even if you're there, even if the whites are a minority, they're
like, let me figure this. Let me take care of all the.
Are there any white people that Americans aren't just friends with immediately? Because it does seem odd that we're like, we do get along with the white part of the Mideast. Everything else we have a problem with.
Right.
Well, it's because it's all just white businesses that go there.
Right.
In the Middle East. Just McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and
yes,
shit like that.
And then none of those places are aimed at white people, though.
No.
Those businesses are white people selling other people.
Yeah, they're white businesses aimed at Middle Eastern.
Yes. And even if we go in there and it's all black people working at McDonald's, serving black people at McDonald's, we think, oh, there's a white business, McDonald's.
Right.
Which McDonald is like well, it's like an old black name, right?
Well,
Maybe?
I think it came from a Scottish name that some
I was
of
thinking
those
more
people.
like Washington's or Johnson.
Well, they-
It's like a simple American
a lot of times that you find out that those were the slave owners that owned the slaves and
Right.
they took the name.
They took that name. They're like, I guess that's my name. That's
Yeah.
where I come from, so it makes sense.
Right, which is odd. That goes to show like there was a parental feeling with the slave owners, right? When they were like, well, this is another Bennington right here.
Right.
I'm going to make him work till he dies.
But really bad
no
parents.
allowance. Yes.
No allowance.
I was watching, you ever see a show called like, I think it's like Who Are You or something that they run on CBS? On PBS. And they go back and, every black person we end up on a fucking slave place. And it's always hard.
Yep. It didn't they do that with Ben Affleck? And he found out that his like great grandfather owned a plantation.
I think one of those shows, Ben said, I'd like that kept out of here, and then that news got out.
Yes.
That he didn't want. Like, by the way,
Makes it so much worse.
I'm not going to act like you're a great thing if your great grandfather fucking discovered something great, nor am I going to hold it against you.
Right.
If he was a mass
It doesn't
murderer.
make you greater. It doesn't make you bad.
I've not seen many of them, but the one that I did see, I believe it was Reba McEntire was on it.
Yeah.
And
Slave owner?
Yeah. So she
Current
found
day.
out, she finds out that someone she was related to owned a plantation.
Yeah.
They had slaves, and she was like, oh my gosh, this is chilling to just find this out. It's like really upsetting. And she was just she seemed mildly upset. Right. So then they go a little bit further into her past, and they find out that some great grandfather of her came from Ireland as a little boy, and he was an indentured servant. And she cried like a baby. She's like, it's terrible to think that he
poor
came
fella.
here and he had to work his way out of his. And I'm like, yeah, but you just
Yeah.
Yes.
about. Okay, that's
I
fine.
only care about myself.
Those were different times.
Right? But she was so upset, and I was like, "You took the slavery thing pretty well."
I went to a wedding and in like Georgia or something, and the next day they had the big affair at this like old plantation. Everyone's like, "Isn't this nice?" And like me and like one other guy were like, "Not really.
No,
this is
pretty weird."
It's like
I
if
don't
you
like this.
set up a buffet at Auschwitz. You're like,
yeah.
But we still have to eat. You know what I mean? Like we can mourn and eat. It's
Right.
great space.
Yeah.
First, can we
miss the old
Better be
days.
cheap.
I want to plug Ian's stuff.
I apologize.
Oh, thank you.
Ian Fiennes is in studio. Ian's performing at Levity Live next Wednesday,
Good club, man.
April
Love it, man.
19th
Great club.
at
Headliner.
7:30 p.m. We'll also be at the Delaware Candlelight Theater with Carmen Lynch on 420. Go to ianfidance.com for tickets and all additional dates.
How much time are you doing at Levity Live?
About an hour.
About an hour.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where's your, hey, this is where I know I can kill the whole entire time? What's the point there?
I'd say half hour.
Half hour.
Yeah.
So-
and then 45, I'm like happy with, and I'm really working on that. And then an hour is like, all right, you guys want to hear some stories? You know, but they're good stories.
Right.
You know, you're getting an experience. You're
Yes.
seeing it molded before your eyes.
Yeah. I love when anyone comes up with a story that happened to them recently to ask the audience what they should do about it. I'm like, you're turning this into therapy or friendship. We've moved away from entertainment.
I mean, is that wrong or what?
What would you do if your girlfriend said this to you?
Right.
Because I don't care how funny you are, there is always going to be a time limit.
Yes.
I think Patrice said hour 10. It can't go past hour 10. He might have said hour 20.
Now, did he like for him personally, or
He
does
meant
he
for
think
life itself.
Yeah, like anyone,
Yeah.
anyone shouldn't go past.
Looks
that
like we
because
do
it's
with a movie. There's a cutoff date where you're like,
Yeah.
even though I'm enjoying this movie, I feel like it should be over.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
have
and,
other interests.
and it's better to go out early in a high note than to just go longer and have everyone else be
I
like,
agree.
is this going to stop or
Yeah.
what?
And I mean, I want to really laugh hard. I don't want to
Fuck
giggle,
yeah.
you know,
Right.
when I'm seeing a
Yeah.
comedian.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, you know, I do like a lot of one-nighters and stuff, and sometimes clubs will, you know, like Levity, they're headline a night, whatever. And I had to learn this the hard way, but when you headline like a actual host feature headliner, you get to plan out for the check spot. And my first time doing that, I did not plan that out, and there was this dip, and I was like, "Oh shit, what
just happened?
Yeah.
Well,
so I definitely had to learn.
Yeah, check spot is very much a New York phrase. Anywhere
Yeah.
else in the country,
They don't use that.
no, the headliner has to put up with that time
Yep.
and people can't have a check put down without looking at it, discussing it. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I love to watch them just to see how quickly they're always like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Potato skins? Did we have potato skins?
$45?
But
How much did you drink?
Even if it's reasonable, they're like, this isn't bad,
No,
right?
look at this.
We got a lot
This
for
is how
this.
cheap the potato skins were.
Yeah.
They need to discuss a bill.
Yeah. Have an argument.
Yes. Can you
Take out
divide
the
this 7
calculator.
ways? Yeah, 7 ways, please.
4 cards.
Yeah.
Press cash.
Oh, that's the nightmare.
Far as I got.
That
I want to
is-
put half on this on my card.
Yeah.
I
3/4 on this.
I beg everyone that if you are in that situation, which you really shouldn't be, but if you are in that situation, just like find a way out of it, because servers get fucked over every time. Because what happens is they say, take the cash out and then divide the card, the rest onto card. So then the people on the card then put their tip down and the cash people walk away. And this happens like 99% of the time. So you're getting
This is stunning to
half
me.
of your tip.
So the fucking cash people don't think a tip goes in there.
No, and I have when I became a server, I had to explain this to people like, hey, if you're a cash person, you are not done. You now have to tip on what, and they're like, no, I threw in the total amount. I accounted for it. No, you didn't, because we said take this out. Then you need to rethink the way we've done this. Like,
Right.
It's so weird how often it happens.
People don't understand. And also sometimes if I pay with card and people give me cash, I think I made money.
I'm doing pretty well today.
Yeah.
No, because now you got cash in your pocket.
Yeah,
It's like a friend ATM.
It is.
right. But I think everyone should work a service job. I think they serve in the Israeli army for 2 years. At 18, you got to work in the service industry
agree.
to get a better appreciation.
I
of shit.
don't know if too many Americans haven't at least worked in a store. You know what I mean? Like, you would think that before you yelled at somebody, you would think, oh, I've had a job like this before. I'm not going to be a jerk off.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I was a bellman, and I would always think, how much tips do I get each hour before this becomes worth it to be here? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, because you figured you needed to make it like an extra $7, $9 in an hour to like, okay, now this makes sense because you're being paid below minimum wage. And I'm thinking, I'm behind, up, I'm above a little bit, back behind again the next hour.
Yeah.
It would fucking be infuriating.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much, I've said this before, anytime you are giving someone a good tip, you're going above and beyond. What you're really accounting for is, let me take care of the bad tips you had tonight.
Right.
You almost never are going
to be above it.
Almost never are you going, we made above 20% on every bill all night. It never happens.
You know, I saw Lily at the stand, I think it was last weekend, a weekend before, and somebody gave her a $90 tip, right? And like, she was so happy. And I was thinking to myself, that's what life is about. You know what I mean? What are you going to do with that $90? You might as well just make some young girl happy.
Yeah.
You know? Because these people
You can't take it with you.
Yeah, and you're working in New York and you're living with
You're
3
on your
and 4
feet all the
other
time,
people. Yeah,
running around.
It's a rough game.
Yeah.
It's a rough game. Chris, you ever work a service job?
Never worked in the service industry. I sold weed. That's not the service industry. I mean, it's customer
No,
service.
I mean, you...
I had a weed guy look at me seriously and be like, customer service is a really important part of my role here. It's like, oh, dude, you gotta relax. Get rid of your ponytail, man.
But no, never I never was a waiter. Or anything like that.
Were you good at selling weed or you smoked too much weed?
I was okay at it, but it was just too much of a hassle. Fucking re-upping and fucking bagging, and it was just a pain in the ass.
But I would have guessed it because you're a hand waver in restaurants.
And you told me that's bad, so
Yes,
I've stopped
he-
that.
he's stopped.
I didn't
What
know.
does he do? Show me.
Like,
I don't like
the
fuck
second
chili
he
like
needs
that.
something,
Yeah.
he's like, puts his hand up and is
Whoa.
like but the moment he has the thought, like, not like, all right, let me wait, see if they pass, like. So I'm just like, hey, just so you know, they hate you right now.
Eye contact guy.
Miss.
Exactly. But you have changed your ways.
Yes, I didn't know because I don't like talk shittily to servers.
But that's great that all you have to do is hear something. You're like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, so I felt really bad actually when Gail told me that.
It's amazing what a little bit of communication does to better the world.
It does. It helps. Now, do you like it when people want their check that they act like they're writing a check in the
That one I'm okay with.
Yeah.
It doesn't. That never bugged me.
You just gotta be subtle.
Because as long as you're not like garçon and like throw it up.
I like to say, well, this is
fucking conductor.
This is ridiculous. We spend all this money, and this bitch makes us sick.
But a subtle little like I need this when your hands are full is like, oh cool, I know I don't have to walk all the way over to you. I know exactly what you need, and the next time I see you, I'll bring it to you.
You know, servers are going to be replaced by robots soon. Anyway.
I know. That will not be a thing.
Yeah.
One guy told me one time, he goes, "You treat me like a foster kid." And I was like, "You're taking out your own shit. What are you airing out on me?" I know.
I'm saying you're like a child to me, but not my actual child, a child that I'm paid to take care of.
Right.
You're treating me like a foster kid.
Someone that gives you tax breaks.
Yeah. The other thing is, like, when you're a bellman, a lot of people want you to see them naked. And I mean a lot.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, explain.
So you have to, when you're a bellman, you go and you take food to people's room service and stuff. And a lot of times a guy would answer in a towel and drop the towel. And a lot of times some women would do that occasionally. And then a lot of times they would act like the woman was sleeping on the bed and she's naked. And he's like, hey, she's sleeping over there. He's like, you know, take a look if you want. I go, dude, I work here. See this fucking all the time.
Yeah, this is not.
Yeah. I don't want to see your 49-year-old fucking big bush wife. I'm fucking 15. This means nothing to me.
Whoa. I worked in a hotel, and it's a very nice hotel.
Yes.
And the housekeeping staff had to have meetings on how to handle men who come to the door, men who ask them in, men who expose themselves. And by the way, I should mention, almost 100% of the staff was like little old like Asian women from Chinatown, middle-aged. These were not like young girls in like French maid costumes.
Right.
By the way, here's another interesting thing. That's more likely to happen in a nice hotel.
Yeah. Because they think it's expected. Like, this is part of my service.
Right.
It's really, really creepy.
It is what it is.
Customer's always right.
Yeah, that's
Give the guy a hand job. What are you doing?
Sometimes they hang left, though.
Ian Finance is in studio. Ian's performing at Levity Live next Wednesday, April 19th at 7:30 p.m. He'll also be at the Delaware Candlelight Theater with Carmen Lynch on 420. Go to ianfinance.com for tickets and all additional dates.
You just had Carmen Lynch and Gail Meets Girl. She's very, very funny.
Yes, she's incredibly funny. And I had a blast with her. That was like the last episode I just did. And she is very tall. And that was really
statuesque.
Really made apparent standing next to me.
Yeah, I saw the picture.
Yeah, because there's me and Jessica Curson standing with her. And Jessica is not a tall person.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like the two, and she was like, how can I find my way into this photo?
You know what? I thought when I saw that picture, I'm like, oh, Jack must be short. Jack's not that much taller. He's barely taller than her.
Yeah. I mean, she's very,
Vito,
very
what's
tall.
your height?
6'3".
Oh, you're taller than Chris.
Yeah, he
Big
is.
swinging dick.
Yeah. And Chris, you're much shorter.
I'm 6'1". I'm not much
Very,
shorter.
Well, that is
short.
much shorter. Yeah,
Chris.
that's 2 inches.
Let's get some heels, Chris.
Seriously,
Those platforms.
you can get something to make you a man size. Like
Slouchy
like Vito.
Give me a fucking break.
I mean, you literally look up to Vito.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
in
some slips.
every way.
Yeah.
Not in every way, just physically.
We were talking about this yesterday. Taller guys dislike when a woman is taller than them, whereas shorter guys are fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think shorter guys don't put all their thing into height,
Right.
where taller guys are like, at least I'm tall. You got that, you know? Life should be good. I'm pretty tall.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because you're always looking above everyone else, so you just think that's your point of view your whole life, you piece of shit.
I want to check.
Short guy's got to work for it.
Let's check with Jen and find out what her minimal height is, because she does have minimal money
Yeah.
restrictions. She's a very superficial She's superficial the way the naturally attractive are. The naturally attractive. Here's what bothers me.
Not
The
like a bitch who gotta work for it.
the naturally attractive feel like they've earned it. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, like them hoop earrings.
Yeah.
The bigger the hoops, the bigger the hoe, baby.
All right, good. What's your minimal height?
I would say I'm like measuring it up against me, but I would say like 5'2", 5'3".
Wow, so you're pretty good about that.
So you
You like short guys? I've dated some short ones.
What's the
but
tallest you've dated?
Tallest,
Yeah.
6'3" or 6'4". He was.
I had no idea that you wouldn't. You have no problem with short guys.
By the way, I would have bet that she dated basketball players.
Yeah, I did. That was the
professional.
tallest. Yeah, he was professional.
What team?
Well, he was on the Magic.
Yeah, so he
Now-
was taller than 6'3".
Whoa.
He was, I want to say 6'3". I think maybe 6'3" or 6'4", but he was like a small forward. So
very small.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what do you think about mustaches? But I can't follow that.
Have you always had a mustache?
For a long time, yes.
Never been without it since your birth?
I have not gone clean shaven since I was like, I don't know, 21.
But there is that part of the world that you're from, Delaware, Delaware Valley and Philly, South Jersey. People will rock a mustache.
Yeah. My dad was a working man. He had a mustache. You know,
Everybody in
I
my
just- I
neighborhood had a
always wanted
mustache when I
one.
was growing up.
And Chicago's a big mustache town.
Chicago's a mustache town.
They love a
Yes.
mustache.
Yeah.
And it's not like they love a mustache. It's just, it is mustache. Like,
Yes.
that's just the standard
I
issue
remember
man face.
I was happy to grow a mustache when I was a kid to get served and not get carded. And then I probably kept it a couple years longer than I needed to.
Right.
Because I was just like, I don't know what I look like without a mustache now.
Right.
Probably weird.
I look awful. I think I look so awful without facial hair. Maybe it's just my own insecurity.
Well,
but
the mustache suits you. Like
Thank you.
it's-
Yes.
you seem
it
like
does.
you're born-
It does fit you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Chris, you never go straight mustache. It's
Never.
always patchy beard.
Mostly, 5 o'clock shadow, or if I let it grow, a very patchy, creepy beard.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
Let it come in and spend a little time with the stash. Like in a
I
couple
would
months.
love that.
Please,
No
please.
hurry.
Stash off.
No hurry. Yes.
Everyone goes to stash.
Chris, Vito, would you be willing to do the same?
Just straight mustache?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. My mustache doesn't look that good, though. That's why
No, we don't want it to look
Yeah, I know. It's got to look awful.
Yeah.
I'm a mustache aficionado when it comes to that. I mean,
Now, would you see me as a mustache guy or yes or no?
I don't know. If it was big and broomy,
Yeah,
you
it
know
would
what I
be.
mean? Yeah.
But my problem now is it comes in like white.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
distinguished.
I go white right to the top of the fucking sideboards and then nowhere else.
Yeah, like, it's
I
just
go
like
right
a
up here like
ring
a
of-
pilot. Hey, everybody, you're going to be safe. Look at the experience, but not too gray that you're going to be scared.
Touch of gray.
Yeah.
Grateful Dead.
Here's Tim in Florida wants to back up the tall women thing. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I've dated taller girls before. I'm actually 6'2", but I think the difference is between shorter guys with a taller woman and the taller guy with a taller woman is, as a 6'2" guy, to date a taller woman is kind of like the center of attention because she's got to be really tall and stand out in the crowd to be that tall and large.
See, the thing is, that whole thing that you guys think that height makes you the center of attention
Right.
is hilarious
Yeah, that's
to
really
the rest
weird.
of us. I would never think him at a party. Oh my God, some tall people.
Look
Oh,
at
they must be
me.
interesting. Yeah, I've never looked at a tall guy and been like, I want to hear his story.
What a powerful person standing there that tall.
His brain must be tall.
Yeah.
They say that Trump doesn't like to run into taller people because he's used to being the tall guy.
Right.
So when there's another tall person,
He's
he
like-
bellies up to him right away. Like, what's this shit all
No, I
about?
don't believe it.
My best friends are significantly taller than me, so nobody ever notices in
What a
my
freak
friend
show.
group how tall
How
I'm.
tall are your
I
fucking
told my
upset
two,
about the
my two
mustache.
friends that are brothers who are 6'7" and 6'8".
Now, they're brothers or they're black?
They're both,
The brothers.
but nobody ever realized.
With the brothers.
Happy
loved
Chris
that.
is with
I know.
the slight bit of racism.
He loves
Is it
it.
racism?
Touch of
Yeah.
racism.
Is it really? Yes.
Saying the brothers?
You're a racist, Chris.
Well, that's my dad.
You're one
Chris,
of the
fuck
worst
you.
racists.
Seriously.
You short bitch.
You are tiny around some women.
I don't really like I like being taller than women, but if I'm with a trans chick, fucking climb a ladder, baby.
Yeah. You like a big, tall trans
There's
girl.
nothing that is more emasculating but sexually gratifying than being called little guy by a 5'11" Dominican tranny.
I gotta ask you this. By the way, I thought they didn't like the term tranny anymore.
It's so all my trans friends and the women I've been with use it willy nilly.
Now, would you like Caitlyn now that she's post-op, or would
No.
you prefer pre-op?
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Pre-op. I like a chick with natural tits, a fat ass, and I also like chicks with a big old dick. You know, I just.
But
I don't know
you
what's
don't,
up.
nature.
You don't like a girl with a brand new
Post-op.
vagina.
No, I don't think I'd be into that. No.
That's so interesting. You know, because you would think, oh, Ian, he's very open. No, he's picky.
Even if it's sculpted by the best.
I've got a refined palate. I'll just be with a woman. Au natural.
When did you know that you were attracted to transvestites? It was hearing
Not
Norton's show?
transvestites.
Yeah.
Transsexuals.
Transsexuals. Transvestites, no.
When I was younger, I just, I don't know. I always knew I was into, I was like shameful of it and everything.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Big time. And I used to, matter of fact, someone I had like a fling with, she was like, would you bring me back to meet your family? And I was like, Delaware? What?
Yeah.
No, you're 6'4" and black.
First of all,
I wish, but no.
You were wrong to bring anyone back to meet your family.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
mistake.
Yeah.
It's a mistake. I don't care if you're getting a Kennedy.
You cross
Don't
the,
take them
you
back
cross
to
the border,
Delaware.
everything's just wood panels.
Do not take them back to Delaware. Their feelings are going to get hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just right in the air.
All right, we got to wrap this up.
Yes,
Ian's
we do.
great, right?
Love Ian. Ian
Why don't
fi-
you give him some plugs for once in his life?
If you love him so much.
Ian, I apologize.
please,
Sorry,
you
seriously.
fucking racist.
Come on. Ian Finance has been in the studio. Ian's performing at Levity Live next Wednesday, April 19th at 7:30 p.m. He'll also be at the Delaware Candlelight Theater with Carmen Lynch on 420. Go to ianfidance.com for tickets and all additional dates.
Ian, always good to see you, buddy.
Pleasure, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Glad that you're doing great, too.
Yeah.
These are great gigs you got lined up.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I got a bunch of stuff coming up.
All right, let's end this today. We lost Charlie Murphy today. Very, very sad news.
Rest in peace.
And also the great Jay Giles. Rough day.